Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. I hope all of you are doing good. Now, I am trying to get over a cold here, so if I sound a little nasally, I'm sorry, but I'm here with all of you. Hopefully, you're having a good night. So, breaking right now, we are about to see if Michigan is going to shut down. Now, also, simultaneously, the federal government is also likely to shut down at the same time, an hour and a half from now, as soon as the clock strikes midnight, October 1st. We will have reached a fiscal cliff, as it's called, both in the state of Michigan as well as the United States federal government. Now, I'm going to focus more on the Michigan one right now because the federal government shut down a lot. It shut down for, I think it was 35 days about 7 years ago. And they have ways of doing things. And we'll discuss that briefly in a little bit, where they can just kind of like keep on keeping on regardless. As goofy as that sounds, a lot of this, in my opinion, is unconstitutional. However, on the state level, it might be just a little bit different. So, yeah, we're going to go into this just a little bit. You guys are saying my sound is off. Okay? Let me know if you guys are hearing me. If you didn't hear me when I first said hello, I do have a cold right now. So if I sound a little nasally, if my voice is a little bit hoarse, I'm sick right now. I have a cold. I feel okay otherwise. So if my voice quality is weird, sorry. I'm doing the best I can. I may have to take a little Kleenex break here and there. My microphone is showing up, and everything should be loud and clear. So sounds like I'm underwater. It's the mic. Okay. Um, Let me see here real quick if there's anything I can do about that. Give me 1 second here. Is the sound any better now? Sorry, guys, if you're watching on replay. Okay, there's something going on with audio. Sorry, guys. I'm using the same setup I've been using for years on here. I don't know. Just giving it 1 second here. All right, I went back to the other one. Let me know if this is better. I'm just clicking a couple settings here. I don't want to have to start over, and I do apologize for anybody who may be listening on replay because, yeah, give me 2 seconds. We're not missing anything yet. We're going to find out what's going on here in just a little bit. Give me one last quick sound check, guys, because a couple of you said I'm good now, and I've been messing with a couple of things, so I don't know if I'm back to where I started or if everything sounds good. So it is 10:35 p.m. here, East Coast time. We're going to focus on Michigan because the government will do, the federal government will do something like called a continuing resolution probably here in the last minute. They might go in and shut down national parks. There's things that can happen. So I'm not making light of it, but I think the Michigan thing's just a little bit more interesting. So the budget was supposed to be passed in Michigan. And the Constitution says that Michigan has to have a balanced budget each year on July 31st. Now, this could have potential 2A ramifications. That's why we're talking about this on the 2A EDU channel, right? Let me know if my sound's good. I'm not really seeing anything else in the chat. Sorry, guys, that this is terrible if you're watching it later. But the budget was supposed to be passed July 31st, so like 2 months ago, all right? And they couldn't pass the budget because we have a Republican-controlled House of Representatives in Michigan. We have a Democrat-controlled Senate in Michigan, and then of course we have the very Democrat governor, Gretchen Whitmer. Okay, all right. So they've been working on this back and forth. I wish the 2A was the top concern for Republicans, and some of them it is, but I'm not sure it is on the leadership level. So we're arguing about things like roads, school lunches, school funding, different things. It's just it's a whole bunch of stuff. However, there are some key 2A things that could happen if it shuts down, and there's also some key aspects of the Second Amendment that are supposed to be, we've been promised, are going to get defunded during this budget. Now, the Constitution basically says that if they can't, so there's the budget deadline. We already passed that 2 months ago. And the saying that's used is fiscal cliff. Does that make sense? Meaning if you can't pass it by the 30th of September, like essentially right now, before the 1st of October, the government will not have any legislative authority to still be spending money. Because the government's not allowed to spend money unless, in theory, it's under the consent of the governed, which means that our representatives and senators will have to put together a budget bill. There's a budget in the House. There's a budget in the Senate. You can't send two different budgets to the governor. They have to consolidate them into one agreed upon budget. This is always going to include certain types of compromise. There's deals that are to be done. And I'm suspicious some of the dealing being done might not be in our favor, quite frankly. So, according to the Constitution, if we even have that anymore, if we follow that anymore, they ain't allowed to spend any money here in an hour and 20 minutes unless they pass a budget, because it's required, not optional. And this is on the constitutional level, which is supposed to be the supreme law of the land, that if you can't pass a budget, you can't spend any money. Well, I think they have some tricks up their sleeve, and I think they're going to do it anyways. Now, let me just cut to the chase. This is just me being frustrated with compromise. This is me being frustrated with both parties, whereas I am going to blame the Democrats more on this. Look, it's true. The Democrats are worse. The Republicans are generally less worse. But at the end of the day, wait for it, just shut it all down. Is that being blackpilled? I mean, tell me, guys. I want to have a discussion about this. But that's where I'm at right now. Shut it down. Shut down the state of Michigan. Shut down the federal government. Just shut it all down. It just seems like so many forces right now in this country and in this state of Michigan, dark, evil forces, they hate our country. They hate we the people. And they're trying as fast as they can just to catapult us into a third world country. And where I do want a country that the United States of America is supposed to be. And I do want the state of Michigan, according to what the Constitution says it's supposed to be. But at the same time, shut it all down. Leave me the hell alone. Stop taxing us, because taxation's tough. Don't spend a penny. And just let me take care of myself. You know what I mean? I don't want complete anarchy either. There's no like perfect answer when it comes to any of this. We had the Federalists and Anti-Federalists when this country started. Should we have a government? Should we have no government at all? If men were angels, we need no government at all. But we would need a government to protect us from ourselves, because men are not angels. Now, if the government were angels, we need no checks and balances. But since the government are certainly not angels, we need both internal and external checks on government. That was written in the Federalist Papers. That's one of the core fundamentals of what it's supposed to even mean for government to allow it to exist at all. Yeah, it also says in the Declaration that when a country and when a government becomes contrary to, when it comes contrary to us, is the only reason the government is supposed to be there, is to be at the consent of the governed, and that for us is most likely to affect our safety and happiness, right? But when the government becomes contrary to that, it's our right and it's our duty to abolish that government. And every time we turn around, the government seems contrary to our natural God-given rights. Almost every time. Then they'll come back here or there and say, oh, we'll break you off a little bit, and that's considered helping us. It's like, no. We're all endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Our rights are given to us by God, not government. And the government's number one principle is supposed to be to leave us the hell alone and to protect and defend our natural God-given rights. That's the epitome of what the government is supposed to be to exist. And I think it has as a whole. And 99% of it at this point has gotten to where it is contrary to this. Shut it down. Shut it down. Get rid of it. I'm sick and tired of all of it. So at midnight tonight, the government may or may not shut down in Michigan. Let me go over real quick if it does. If it does, the Michigan State Police, their administrative division, does issue CPLs. I think there'd be a strong likelihood if it actually shuts down, which the Constitution declares it's going to have to shut down. They're going to try something different. I'll tell you in a second some of the tricks I think they have up their sleeve in the state of Michigan. The federal government's its own ball of wax, and it's even trickier than you could imagine too. But I think there could be issues with CPLs getting issued if it actually shuts down. So some of you may be in the process of that. You may not be. Also tomorrow, opening day, right? Opening day of hunting season in Michigan. Do I have that right? I think it's tomorrow. Maybe hard to get a hunting license. Hunting, fishing licenses, things like that. We also have these so-called, excuse me, I apologize, guys. I'm sick. I know it's rude to cough, but hey, I'm just human. It is what it is. So I'll try to hit the mute button. Might not be able to. Been sick the last few days. A license to purchase, it's called. You don't have a CPL in Michigan and you're doing a face-to-face transfer or a handgun purchase from even a dealer, you have to get a license to purchase at your local police department, sheriff's office. You have to either have that with the face-to-face, or if it's a handgun, bring it into your local FFL. They'll run another background check, a NICS check, and might have a hard time getting those licenses to purchase if it shuts down because, from what I understand, your local police jurisdictions and sheriffs are drawing off of a database that's run and maintained by the state police. Those are a couple potential issues right now with the Second Amendment if it shuts down. Now, here's the kicker. If it does shut down, the governor's going to put in executive orders. She's going to get to decide which things will still run on an emergency type basis. It would be more likely that she would have like the police patrolmen still out there. But if they're forced to furlough or lay off or try to talk people into working without pay, there's different things they could offer them like that. That the administrative divisions of all these would be shut down before the actual like patrolling officer. So don't worry, they're going to make sure you still get arrested, cuffed, stuffed, fined, because these are all things they do to try to keep you down and make you afraid of your government. That will definitely be funded no matter what. Because I've learned a while ago, it doesn't matter what the Constitution says. It doesn't matter if it's literally illegal to spend one penny without a budget being passed, without a balanced budget being passed. With the state of Michigan, it would be completely illegal to do it, but see, these people have abilities and ways where they can just break the law. And in my opinion, and the way it always works if something like this happens, they'll still keep portions of the government active, whether they're legally allowed to or not. They can still bust you, though, when you're breaking the law. Don't forget that. You may be denied certain services that you, quote, need from the government. And that's the problem. The government's gotten us all so dependent. We're all sucking off the teat of the government, seemingly just for our sustenance nowadays, which sucks. But the government can deny you what you want from it, per se. You shouldn't want anything from it. But you guys know what I'm getting at and what people need from the government, because they've set us up where we need the government way too much. Some people rely on the government to eat. Some people rely on the government for their medications, the roof over their head, all of these things. They can deprive you of that, or just a peaceful walk in a state park, because those will be shut down right away if this does shut down, if they can't pass this budget. But they'll still keep enough people on the streets to fine you, to extort you, to arrest you, to jail you. They're not going to open up the jails. There's no way they'll do that. I'm not saying we should just open up all the jails either. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to stuff where you're breaking the law, they'll always find a way to get you. You guys know what I mean? If there's something that you might want from the government, and look, I know my viewers are smart. You guys are thinking, dude, I don't want anything from these clowns. I know. But a lot of your friends and peers don't agree with you. See, the majority of the people want more government. And even if, like, in Michigan, they take a couple weeks off of the legislature where they're not voting on nothing, you know how many people come to me and talk to me and they're like, dude, this is bullcrap. They're not working in Lansing right now. They need to get up there and do their job. They need to be passing as many bills as possible so we get our money's worth out of the paychecks of our legislators, our representatives, our senators. Me, I'm like, oh, hell no. Every day that they're not meeting in Lansing to make laws is a beautiful day. It's a good day. Because this country and this state of Michigan were founded on us already having everything we need. And just think about that. Being endowed by your creator with certain unalienable rights. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's all inherent. We've always had that, and we do have that. What more could you possibly want? Every time they go in there and vote on something, every time they pass anything, we get further and further away from that. So to me, the less the government's in session, the less they're working, the less they are doing stuff, the more I'm happy. But if I were to make a little straw poll amongst just people I know around town, friends, acquaintances, I would get vastly outnumbered on that, actually. Because every time people say, they need to get up there and do their job more. Their job is to pass laws. And gosh darn it, with us paying their salaries, we need more laws. I'm like, no. I would pay them. I would bribe them if I had to. Now, I don't want to have to do that. But compared to where we are now, I'd bribe them and pay their salary. Here's your salary. Your salary is $75,000 a year. And your orders are, your job description is you have to sit home and do nothing. Never even turn the lights on in that dang chamber. Meet once a year, as the Constitution manages, to do a balanced budget. Make it 10 pages long, vote out in 5 minutes, and you're not even allowed to show up again until the next year. I'm not joking. That's what I would prescribe. But everyone's freaking out right now because nobody wants the government to shut down. Everybody wants more laws to pass. Team Red wants the Republican budget to pass. Team Blue wants the Democrat budget to pass. At the end of the day, there really ain't a place for a guy like me because I'm not Team Red or Team Blue. You know? Now, there do happen to be some Republican legislatures out there that I do like, both in their policies and in some cases, just as people, actually. So there does happen to be some good people I know of in government. There ain't many of them, but there's a few. There's always been a few on the federal level and in the state of Michigan and hopefully in your state. There's a few that are good people out there that are actually taking pay cuts, that did run for office because they're just like me and you and they're sick of all of it. But as a whole, when you look at them just as parties, the Republican Party doesn't suit my interests. The Democrats sure as heck don't. And they've gone so far to the left now, it doesn't even resemble the United States or the state of Michigan. They're going to argue about billions of dollars here and how they're going to fund the roads. Does anybody, how do I word this? Because we are on YouTube here, and I don't even know what the terms are on here anymore. I'm going to sound old school, but is anyone ever familiar with this gal named Mary Jane? Anyone heard of her? Anyone heard of her? Well, they've come up with this compromise, supposedly, where they said, we made a deal. The head of the Michigan House of Representatives, Speaker Matt Hull, the head of the Michigan Senate, Majority Leader Winnie Brinks, and the governor, Gretchen Whitmer. Yeah, try to say that with a straight face. Trying to keep this family friendly. They've come up with a deal just in the last day or two where they're going to add a 20% wholesale tax in addition to any other taxes on Mary Jane. And some people are happy about that because they think, well, that's a good way to fund the roads. A lot of people are really mad at that. I would note, and this was happening earlier today in Lansing, I was looking at a reporter went out there and did like a photo log, not a vlog. I guess it'd be a p-log. He did like a little short article, but it was mainly just a string of pictures. There were over 24 pictures today on the Lansing lawn, and I'll tell you what, they filled up the whole Capitol with people that are pro Mary Jane for their own personal use, let's just say, but mainly the industry of it. Okay, the people that dispense it, the people that sell it, that wholesale it, just all aspects, because this ain't like it used to be. If you guys didn't know, this is a huge booming industry in Michigan. Tons and tons of money to be made, and they're saying they've settled on a deal to get this budget passed. Look, they ain't gonna pass no budget by midnight tonight. I guarantee it. It's impossible. We're gonna pull some real weird backroom stuff. And when it gets a little closer, we're gonna talk about that in the next hour here. But they want to add a 24% tax to that. They filled up the whole Capitol along with it. From what I understand, it may have some legislators starting to think twice now about that. Now, here's the interesting part. I know a lot of my viewers are good friends with this gal named Mary Jane. I've been made aware of that for a long time. What if it's an either or? Where would you guys be? This is where it could get tough for some of you, you know? Now, I will say, they filled up the whole Capitol lawn, like thick with people. Very impressive turnout. Last time there was a 2A rally, there was 30, 40 people there. You know what I mean? I'm just going to cut to the point. You guys can tell me if this is good or bad. Tell me what your priority is. Look, I'm not the tyrannical government. I'm not telling you your priorities. If anyone wants to know my personal opinion, I'll tell you it. I've told you before. I'm not ashamed of my opinions. But look, I do have an opinion on this Mary Jane, actually, a very adamant opinion. But I'm just asking you for now. Why is that so much more popular than the Second Amendment in the state of Michigan? I know people are going to come back and be like, dude, I'm an adamant supporter of both. Why do thousands show up? Hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, show up when Mary Jane's on the line. Now, look, they're not even trying to ban her. They're just 24% tax. We already have 15% excise taxes in this whole country on the manufacture of firearms and ammo. No one even talks about that. No one even wants to repeal that. That's just kind of like set in stone. Like, well, yeah, duh. It's been that way forever, if you didn't know. But when the 2A is on the line, thousands of people show up against the 2A. Sometimes between 1 and 50 people show up to support it. When Mary Jane's on the line, thousands of people show up. Leads me to no other conclusion that is on a magnitude of probably 100 times more important to the average Michiganian than the Second Amendment and then guns. Now, I might be flawed in my logic, but I've literally seen things that kind of show that to be true, actually. Now, here's what they were floating not too long ago. What the Democrats wanted to do is take hunting and fishing licenses. I did a video on this. I talked about this. If you remember, they wanted to double them in certain scenarios, quadruple. Some of them were going to go up at rates 10 times the amount almost. You guys remember when we did that? We talked all about that. You haven't heard too much about it lately because it kind of went into the background because the Republicans in the House did fight that ferociously. They said we are not going to jack up the hunting and fishing licenses like that. We won't agree to it. And then now the newest deal they've come to as well to get this funding for the roads, we're going to take Mary Jane and add 24% tax to her. Look, I'm on a very highly censored site. I don't know what I'm allowed to say on here. You know, whatever you want to call it. The devil's lettuce, you know, I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about, though, don't you? They want to jack it up an additional 24% tax. What if you're in a situation where it was either or? How would you vote if you were a voter? You don't have to say this out loud. Look, I'm just kind of having you all think about this. If it was either or, either all your hunting and fishing licenses in the state go through the roof, and your friend Mary Jane's staying at status quo, or hunting and fishing licenses stay the same, and Mary Jane goes up 24%. I know the real answer for many people, like, dude, I don't want him to touch either. I hate all taxation stuff. Look, whoever's just joining the stream partially through, welcome. Shout out to the replay crew. I just said it 20 minutes ago. Shut it all down, every last bit of it. I'm sick of all of it. No government at all. Just get rid of it. I'm being dead serious. And look, guys, like I said, I like a lot of the policy of some of these people. I do. There are some good ones out there. If you happen to be on the Republican side, that are staunchly pro two-way. Look at Representative Jim DeSena, for example, that's trying to pass. He's trying to get a hearing on his bill, and Representative Sarah Lightner's Judiciary Committee, she won't hold a hearing. If we could get 1/100th of the Mary Jane supporters to go have a protest against the committee chair to get her to hear that bill, she might do it. Look, Jim DeSena, I'm right with him on his policy. He wants to repeal red flag laws in the House. Make a statement, put everybody on the board for a vote. We'll know where they're at. Big deal. So, like I said, I'm not going to throw all Republicans under the bus for their policy. I just don't trust the Republican Party generally. And I can't trust the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House, Matt Hall, voted against the Second Amendment and voted for gun control last session. He's refusing to hold a House floor vote. And in my opinion, it's obvious he's refusing to pressure the Judiciary Chair to hold a hearing on red flag repeal, constitutional carry, many other good bills that some of the pro 2A reps are trying to fight for right now. You know what? When the last time the Speaker voted, he voted for gun control, and he's refusing to do anything to show us things have changed. I have no other conclusion than I think he's still anti-Second Amendment, and I hope he's not. But until he shows different, I'm going to assume he is. So yeah, there's some good legislators out there. My state representative, Jamie Thompson, you all know her well. She's been on the channel many times. She's probably most people in the whole country state representative at this point. Their favorite one. Dude, she's awesome, man. And she's like one of my best friends too. And I mean that. Like, dude, part of me just wants her to like quit being a rep just to be like, just to get away from all this craziness. But I'm glad I have somebody I can trust in that. You know what I mean? I don't know how she does it, but I'm just glad I have somebody I can truly trust representing me and 90,000 of my neighbors. But man, this is just like such an evil thing. The way the government's operating nowadays. I know the Democrats are literally just terrible and just so bad now. They just want to destroy everything with the country. That's just how it is in Lansing. Go look at it. Look at the stuff they're doing right now. Look at the stuff they have been doing. And there's some really good individuals up there here and there trying their best, but it just sucks. So as I just said, I'm very good friends, and I mean that. Not just like, oh, my good friend, as people say politically. Like, truly, my good friend is a sitting legislator. Still shut it all down. I don't care. The hell with all of them. You know what I mean? I'm just tired of it. I think if they can figure out a way to shut this government down where it screws the 2A for a little while, they'll do it. Now, there's other things that have nothing to do with the 2A whatsoever, too, that you might be worried about. Look at the Michigan liquor control. Does anybody drink? The way I was told by my friend Ron earlier, and there he is, 24% on wholesale transactions. That's for this Mary Jane, right? We'll get to the liquor in 1 second. And you guys know how that works, right? I don't know exactly what a wholesale transaction technically means by the letter of the law. However, the way I would understand something like this, if the wholesalers are having to pay 24% more, guess what? The wholesalers ain't just going to take a 24% hit. They're going to pass that all the way down as it keeps getting lower. And your baggie, or whatever the heck you want to call it. I know it's not even a baggie anymore. It's a wax. It's a dab. It's a vape. It's a pen. I don't do it. I can't stand the stuff. I think it's garbage. There's my opinion. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I don't want it around me. Now, I have people I really do like that enjoy it. I don't not like you because you're into it. There's some people that become so obsessive with it and possessed with it that it's hard to hang around with them because they just live and breathe for it. And I haven't seen them sober in years. That's a different type of person. But to make a long story short, 24% tax is going to go down to your brownie you're buying, your dab, your wax, your J, your baggie, your whatever it is. That's how I look at it. That's what's going to happen. But what about liquor? Me and Ron were talking earlier, and he informed me that in the state of Michigan, the government technically owns all of the liquor until it reaches the final consumer. Did you know that? So when liquor's sitting in a liquor store, it's actually owned by the government. It's just being wholesaled by a wholesaler or retailed by a retailer. And then they're allowed to have a certain percentage of the sale. When you buy a bottle of booze in this state, you're technically buying it from the government via a retailer. The retailer is technically, if you will, getting it leased to them kind of sort of from the government via the wholesaler. The wholesaler is borrowing or taking physical possession of the government's liquor. It's the government's liquor. The way I understand this, if the government shuts down, there will be no more liquor able to be purchased. Isn't technically the right word because the government owns it till it gets to your house. Okay? But I'm just going to use this word because it's a weird concept. Wholesalers won't be able to purchase liquor. Retailers won't be able to purchase liquor if the government shut down. From what I also understand at the baseball games and bars and all that, they won't be able to pour alcohol by the glass if that portion of the government shuts down. Your state parks can be shut down. School lunches, they may not have money for school lunches, school funding, all of these things. It trickles down to every single aspect of the government. However, certain things literally could be shut immediately off. Now, and this is what I don't get. And I see I have a super chat here. Let me read this real quick. Rescue Note with a super chat and a channel member. Thanks, man. I do appreciate it. He says, shut it down. I'm with you, man. And I want to thank Rescue Note and all of you real quick for the many ways you help support the channel. Thank you to the super chats. I've not done any ad reads here. This super chat's the only penny the channel has brought in so far today. So thank you. Thank you to anyone who leaves a super chat. I will read it. Thank you to all my channel members. I see a bunch of you in the chat. Also, my local supporters. Definitely check that out. Dude, I posted some sweet deals over there on stuff. Like this right here, this Fast Fire E. Yeah, like check out what I posted with information on this, like literally yesterday. That's a hot. Check it out. Something I just posted before this stream starts. And I will be live streaming tomorrow night on local, so definitely check that out as well. And thank you to my Patreon supporters, as well as those who donate on Cash App. Links are all down there in the description. So, with that said, if they can't pass a budget by midnight tonight, the state has to shut down via the Constitution. I'll show you what's going on the House floor right now. So this is the Michigan House of Representatives. You can see the clock on that screen there. It's 11:05 p.m. And there's some people milling around. And they are technically in session. However, they are at ease at the call of the chair. So they're going to be called back in and gavelled back in here. I'm going to assume, maybe I have a little bit of inside scoop on this, at about 11:45 p.m. they're going to be called in. And presumably, they are going to follow the Constitution, which is supposed to be the supreme law of the land. Okay? Constitution, supreme law of the land, check, right? But then it should have to completely and utterly shut down. They can't spend a penny on anything. They can't pass a budget in the next 54 minutes. But hold on to AEDU. I've seen press releases today where the governor is saying, we're not going to shut anything down. The Speaker of the House, Matt Hall, is saying, we're not going to shut anything down. The Senate Majority Leader, the Democrat, Winnie Brink, says we're not going to shut anything down. Yeah, I guess they don't follow the Constitution anymore, right? Because this budget's over 2,000 pages long. Theoretically, probably. Here's the crazy part. The budget hasn't even been finished being written yet. It hasn't even been printed yet. Representative Steve Cara, which I do like, he's a friend of mine, He was talking earlier today in an interview, and I'm summarizing because I don't have it right in front of me right now. But he basically said, yeah, this is a huge problem. And it's right in front of us, and it's a way bigger underlying problem that they're going to get 2,000 plus pages shoved in front of them here. Maybe tonight in a few minutes, maybe hours from now, maybe several days from now, the way it may work out. They ain't going to have time to read it. They ain't going to have time to understand it. And that's so scary, and that's abhorrent. See, representatives, senators, they take an oath that they're supposed to uphold and defend the Constitution. In Michigan, the state of Michigan, and of the United States. Every state legislator has to take an oath to that state's constitution and to the U.S. Constitution. They're going to uphold and defend it. How can you swear that you're upholding and defending the Constitution when you're going to vote on something you haven't read yet? Let's put this into perspective. We'll come back into the House session here in just a few minutes, but as you can see, there's only a few members milling around. They're not even close to voting on anything right now. We literally have 52 minutes until the line in the sand, the fiscal cliff, because the fiscal year starts here October 1st, 52 minutes from now. Now, I'm going to throw a hypothetical out there and think about how scary this is. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be in there, but it could be. They could be adding language to the budget right now that says everything you buy is going to get taxed 100%, and you're going to pledge your soul to Gretchen Whitmer, okay? The golden calf that the Bible talks about. You ain't seen nothing yet, and you'll have to worship her like a false idol. And if not, you're subject to the death penalty. Now, you guys get where I'm heading with this. I'm going to that could be written in a bill, shoved in on page 1,967, shoved in front of every representative, and they're told they have 2 minutes to vote on it. And there could be people that otherwise are good people voting that they want that to be the new law of the land because they have no idea it's in there because nobody can even read it. And you guys just start thinking of things in your head. I just threw out something kind of stupid. I get it, but it would be really scary, wouldn't it? I'm sorry, but there should be a law. Well, there is a law. It's called the Constitution. But we don't have that anymore. I guess we need to just do something. I don't want any more laws, though, but we need to somehow get this government turned around. Here's my point. See, I don't even know how to fix it anymore because I just started to say we need a new law that says you have to follow the law. You know, that's hyperbolic. We have too many laws. Just shut it all down. Don't open it back up. I'm just going to keep going back to that. Sick of all of it. Shut it down. Don't open it back up. My good friend Jamie, she's an excellent nurse. Look, she has credentials. She has a great family. She has a great life, and her life would be much better without this crap of Lansing. But I do thank her. And that's why we all need to be supporting good people like her that are representing us in Lansing right now. Government gets shut down forever. My good friend, Representative Thompson, Jamie Thompson, she'll become a nurse. She's a fabulous nurse. All the patients love her. I've heard all about it. But anyone that's decent, they can just get another job and just shut it all down. That's it. Take the whole Capitol building, gut all of it, make it into a big church as far as I'm concerned. That might be a great use for it. I'd rather people be in there worshiping God than worshiping the government. And it somehow needs to be illegal again to have it where legislators could ever vote on something that not only did they not read, but they cannot read. Silver mine. Yeah. Single issue bills at a minimum of 72 hours to read it. Now, Michigan does have single issue bills, except for when it comes to a budget like this. They'll say it's single issue because it's a budget, but it's omnibus. Look, according to Representative Steve Carra, he believes it's 2,000 plus pages. I have no reason to doubt him. He's been a legislator for a while now. But here's the thing. Does anyone know Representative Carra? He's been on our side with the Second Amendment every time. I've had face-to-face talks with him more than once in his office, in the hallways. I was there with him one day when he was trying to get on the House floor with an American flag. Do you guys remember me talking to you about that? When the Democrats had complete control of the trifecta, they controlled the House last session. Representative Steve Carra tried to carry an American flag on the House floor. They had the pride flag. Well, pride, that's a sin, isn't it? Of course it's a sin. That's why everybody has it nowadays, don't they? This so-called pride flag, all these other flags, flags from all these countries. I've even seen this flag more prominent than ever around there, where it's white and it has a special type of star on it. It's blue. Has anyone heard of it before? Sometimes it makes you wonder, doesn't it? When there's certain ones you're not even allowed to talk about, does it make you wonder? Look, you can have any other country's flag you can think of. You can have pride. You can have things that symbolize deadly sins. You could literally put false idols up to be worshipped. That was totally fine under the Democrats' reign. I was up in Steve Carra's office talking about the Second Amendment with him and a couple of his staffers. It might have been Representative Neil Frisky or Matt Maddock or both. I think it might have been Maddock. These were both representatives that would do this kind of thing. And we're up there talking. Steve Carra says something along the lines, I'm not directly quoting him, Representative Carra. I just call him Steve because he's our people. It's okay just to call him by their name. And we know each other. We're on a first name basis. But I'm up there in Steve's office. He's like, you know what? I'm getting sick and tired of all these flags. This is America last time I checked. I want to bring an American flag into the House floors. We walked all the way from the Anderson House office building, several of us. He has a big old American flag. And we walk right up to the front of the House floor where you go in. The Sergeant at Arms says, no, that's not allowed in here. And they physically barred, like, oh, you shall not pass. They physically would not let a sitting representative into the House floor under the Democrats with the American flag. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you something to think about here, something to talk to your friends about. There's a lot to all this. Well, I'm talking to my good friend Ron on the phone, who I see in the chat tonight. What's up, Jane Locke, Grim Mod, Raptor, Charlie? Lots of good people in here tonight. There's certain ones you can't talk about. There's certain other countries' flags that are more prominent than ours nowadays. You guys know what I mean, don't you? But anyways, Ron's showing me pictures today from the House floor that he captured from the video feed. He's like, when the Republicans took over the House, they made a rule that you couldn't have all these different flags in there, which was good. You shouldn't be able to have these various other flags. In the chamber of the Michigan House of Representatives, are you kidding me? If you have other countries' flags or sinful flags, yeah, those should be flowing in those other countries. If you want to have a den full of sin and lust and all of these sick, perverted things, that doesn't belong in the people's house. But guess what? Right now, as we speak, the Democrats, here, I'll show you guys. Maybe we can see some of this. You guys want to see this? Let's take a peek and see if we can see some. It might be somewhere we have to zoom in. It might be a little bit too small. Give you guys a little bit more of a bigger screen here. Let's see if we can spy any corrupt and sinful and sick flags on the floor here. So as we're looking at it from our point of view, the left side is where the Democrats sit. The right side is where the Republicans sit. In the middle, it can be a touch mix. Wait, what's this? Okay, look in the middle here on the left. The left center. There's a lady, I think. Now, I can get in big trouble for this now if I falsely identify their pronouns. So, in my opinion, what I believe might be a lady, I don't know, but they're wearing kind of a pink. You guys see this kind of in the middle? It looks like to me there's a big prideful flag covering like the whole work area right in front of her. There's a piece of paper partially covering it. Now, when we get a little bit over to the left here, the left bottom, right above where it says Michigan on the little ticker there, I see various colors of flags in that cup holder there, flag holder. Now let's go up towards the right a little bit more towards the center, behind the whatever it is, the Z's there, I guess is what you're supposed to call them now. Yeah, right. It's he or she. There's only men and women, that's it. But right behind her, there's a maroon thing sitting there. I think I see a blue and white flag there. I think I see a Kwanzaa flag over here a little bit to the right. Tribal flag over here. Yeah, I'm seeing tribals. I'm seeing different other countries. I'm seeing prideful, sinful things right now as we speak. Well, I wish the Republicans would invoke the rule that they passed and invoke the rule and say all the flags that aren't the American flag or state of Michigan flag, get it out. No, I'm literally seeing this. This is without me even zooming in. Can you guys see? There's something here with a laptop on the left with a black blouse on, right next to where that guy's walking. I think that's a guy. You just don't know anymore the way they identify. It looks like I see different tribals in there. I mean, Raptor J sees it. Funny, Too Tall's Ale says, funny lawmakers can't balance a budget but can become millionaires while in office. Yeah, I know. All right, so here's the deal. I have this article from Bridge, Michigan. Let's share this real quick. We're getting a little closer. I think here in like maybe 20 minutes or so, they're going to gavel in, and presumptually, they're going to be trying to pass the budget in 15 minutes. Right, Rosie? What's happening, Rosie? Yeah, that's the thing. I agree with you. Rosie says a flag that represents what you do behind closed doors should be illegal in government buildings, especially schools. Pervs. Look, this is the Michigan House of Representatives floor. Don't think for 1 minute that I'm against the freedom of speech, guys. I'm not. I believe in speech. I believe in unpopular speech. There's a difference between what you have in your house or in the public square, or even what you choose to hold up to protest your government. So if there's people there that want to protest against the government in the gallery, holding things, they're often told they can't actually. I'm isolated to this very specific things. These are Michigan lawmakers. Okay? They work for us. These are supposed to be our public servants. So anything that they're displaying that says they have loyalties outside of the state of Michigan, the United States of America, those are acceptable flags to be flown. If there's any other countries' flags, tribes, you guys have seen this, right? I think they call it Kwanzaa, they call it tribalism, whatever, sub-Saharan, where they show up certain days and they have all of this, like, this get up on with all these bright colors and they're this, they're that. Like, okay, you like certain colors. But then when it gets to where you're flying different nations and nation states flags within a Michigan legislature, it's just, it doesn't sit right with me. Like, where is your loyalty? What are you a citizen of anymore? Does anyone else ever think about this concept? Sometimes you wonder where the hell you are because you're like, where am I? What's going on? This can't be the United States. And then it's like, well, okay. Am I a member of the such and such tribe? Am I a member of this other tribe? I mean, look, some of these countries in the world, they literally sit there with warlords, and there'll be dozens, if not hundreds, of warlords that are all vying over control of some of these places. Now, we need law and order. We need to be civilized people. We need an actual civilization. And when I say law and order, I don't mean all these laws that these lawmakers make. I mean the supreme law of the land, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, guided by the Declaration of Independence. Look, I don't want just rogue anarchy. Look, we see that in other countries of the world. There's certain parts of the world where they're tribal, they run around, they've been fighting and warlording for thousands of years, and after thousands of years, they still haven't progressed enough to learn how to build two-story buildings. Some of them, even in recent times, still aren't even aware of the wheel. Look all this up if you don't believe me. No. That's not what I want. I don't want no order. I don't want lawlessness or no law in this country. I want us to live under a very strict rule of law, and that's called the United States Constitution. The government needs to follow its supreme law, which is the Bill of Rights. The right of the people to keep and bear arms, it shall not be infringed. That's what that law says. It says the government shall not infringe it. And now we're to the point where it's like, oh, what's a foregone conclusion? We're just going to trample all over the Second Amendment. What's your favorite tribe? What's your favorite other country? What's your favorite lustful sin? I'm not saying that we need to have a national religion. I'm not saying we should make the Catholic or Baptist religion a national religion at all. The founding fathers said, heck no, in the First Amendment. However, we need to be unified as people and homogeneous insofar as that we have somewhat of the same moral compass. We need to have a generally agreed upon moral compass. And I will say this because there's more than one religion that follows this, and it's been societal norms for any civilization. We can agree on the Ten Commandments. Could that be a start? I don't know. We might not even be able to agree on that in this chat, so this might all be completely fruitless. Can we agree on the Ten Commandments and still freedom that, you want to worship here, you want to worship there, you choose not to worship at all? I'm not talking about what religious sect you're part of. I'm not talking about a government that forces you to worship or doesn't allow you to worship, but can we just have a little bit of a moral compass? Can we stop stealing? Can we stop murdering? Can we stop coveting our neighbor's wife? You know what I mean? Just real simple things like that. I don't know. It's just getting to the point where it's so frustrating. And they're ready to pull a fast one here. Mustafa Hatif says, I was born in Iraq, but this is my country. I'm a proud American. Look, I'm assuming by your statement, you're here in America now, born somewhere else. You want the societal norms of America, don't you? I'm assuming you don't want to turn America into Iraq, because if you did, you probably wouldn't have left Iraq to come to America. I'm sure there's many things you love about your home country. Many beautiful people there, wonderful people. I know you still have family there that you truly love. Look, it's never been about that. There's wonderful, awesome people living in every country in the whole world. There's just certain places that are better countries to live in than others. And they're trying to make this country as crappy, United States, as they can lately. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. You know what I mean? Somebody comes over to America the right way and they actually want to be here. They can at least agree. They can at least agree on just a core, basic moral principle, right? It's a basic moral principle. They can be a good American. But look, there's people that have been here ever since the Mayflower that hate everything about America. And he says he knows nothing about Iraq. Okay. Maybe you don't know anybody there, but you still would accept my premise. Dude, there's beautiful, awesome individual people that live there. I've never been to Iraq. I don't need to go there. I just know that there's good people living everywhere. I'm not saying everybody's good. That's definitely not true. Look, you can literally take three, and I'm not going to get deep into a religious conversation. I'm just talking about this is something that's with a predicate of the United States. You can talk about Abraham. Look, I'm a Christian. That's my beliefs, okay? Period. However, just for the general moral compass that this country needs to get again, You can talk about Abraham with a Christian, a Muslim, or a Jew, actually. Can't you? Now, there's going to be arguments, and there's holy wars, and there's all of this. I get it. However, you want to be a Christian and live here, you need to believe it's not okay to be murdering people. If you're a Muslim and you're going to live here, you need to agree it's not okay to be murdering people. If you're a Jew that's going to live here, you need to agree it's not okay to be murdering people. Or if you're a Hindu, or if you're a Buddhist, or if you're an agnostic, or if you're an atheist, you just have to agree on certain core fundamentals of just be somewhat of a decent person. If you don't agree with that, then you shouldn't be here. You should be locked up. Does that make sense? If all these other countries are so much greater and everybody wants to be there and everybody wants to fly all these other flags, then they can just move out and go there. You know what I mean? Maybe some of these representatives that fly other countries' flags and that fly other different tribes and nation states flags, if they want to support that more than the good people of Michigan, they should probably move, apply for citizenship, and I don't know. I'll just pick some random country off the top of my head for no particular reason. Do they have state reps in Israel? I mean, that's just a random country. No reason I would pick that necessarily. Just if there's some reason that some representative here, you guys follow me on this? If they decide that that country's the priority over the one that they're literally elected to serve, maybe they'd like to try their luck in politics over there. I don't know how to immigrate over there. It might be easy. It might not be. Don't really care because I don't want to go there. I hate this government I live under. This country's really pissing me off right now, but I don't want to leave my country. I want my country to be a better place. People think some other place is better. Move there. Try your luck. Run for whatever it is over there, and maybe you'll have a fantastic life. And maybe they will, and great, but you're out of my hair now. We can move forward. We can try to have some unity again in this country, where we can have a proper civilization again, where people can actually like speak to each other under a common language. It's just core principle things that you need. Red, what's happening, man? Nice to see you, dude. Because all men are created equal. Not all men are entitled to equality. Without nature's God, America has no spirit. Very well said, my friend. Beautifully said. No, you're right. Equity and being created equally are two totally different things. I'm sick and tired of watching people that are trying to be the best they can be drugged down. Or they have to be drugged down to the level of all the underachievers and derelicts. That's equity. There's equal opportunity in this country. But it doesn't mean that the government's supposed to be picking winners and losers. And someone that's doing really good for themselves should not be drugged down to support somebody that's being terrible. And look, guys, I'm not trying to get a big Israel thing going. Look, I'm just sick of all of it. I'm tired of hearing about Israel. I'm tired of hearing about the Ukraine. You know what I mean? Tired of all of it. It's like, really? And then I watch all these politicians in our country flying that flag, and that seems like one of the main flags they like to fly. I kind of gotten off on a tangent away from the 2A, but I did talk earlier on the stream. They do shut down. We'll have to see what happens with hunting licenses. That can be a big deal. Purchase permits, issuance of CPL, many other things. Just to regroup a little bit, I'm going to show you an article as we're ticking down 29 minutes until the Constitution says it has to shut down. Some of you like to hang out with your good friend Mary Jane. Is that what the younger kids call her? Look, I'm not into that, guys, okay? I don't know what it's called anymore, but whatever, just humor me. Your friend Mary Jane, 24% tax is what they're saying. Inevitable. Additional tax on the wholesale level. Now, Here, this is interesting. Just make sure the House is doing nothing. Good. Every minute they don't pass this, look, I think they're making a unsavory deal in the back room right now. They're in the back room right now. No, not necessarily all the rank and file legislators are. Trust me. As Representative Steve Cara has said in a public interview, he doesn't know what's in the bill. He just knows he's going to be given thousands of pages, and he ain't going to have time to read it all. Key decision makers. But who are they, though? You might be thinking to yourself, I don't know. You guys tell me. Oh, I see another rainbow flag here, but let's look at this article. Who are they, though? I don't know. But whoever they are, they're in the back room right now. I'm being dead serious. Like, literally, physically in the back room right now. And they're ironing it out. They're hashing it out. The Republicans are promising this budget is going to defund the red flag tip hotline. They're promising us it's going to defund all that MDHHS indoctrination bullcrap to teach students how firearms are supposed to be stored within the home, and those emails are going out now. I'm going to get a video out for you guys soon. I'm just trying to get over this cold. It's been a bit of a booger. I think I'm on the good side of it here, so give me a little bit more time. All right, but they're sending the letters home now to the parents. This is in full swing. The Republicans have vowed when this budget passes, they're going to defund all that. I don't know if all that's going away in the back room or not right now. I hope that some of the promises the Republicans made they're going to do, I hope they're not going to renege on those. And I say hope in a very sarcastic way. Okay? My hope is not my hope is not in the elephant, it's not in the jackass, the donkey. My hope's in the lamb, actually. That's the only hope I have to save myself. But in a different sarcastic meaning of the word hope, I hope they're not going to renege on the couple things they were supposed to give the Second Amendment. We will see. We will see. My state representative, Jamie Thompson, as of a couple days ago, said, yes, repealing those funds, but that's a victory for us. See, we don't want new laws passed, but if we can repeal, okay, if we can repeal previous stuff, that is a victory. Repeal's good. Just passing a whole bunch of other laws to look busy, terrible idea. I don't know if they're going to repeal it or not anymore, because now we're to the point where it's this really gray area where there's just a select amount of people in the back room. I don't even want to know what's being discussed back there. If you're a decent person, if you're a God-fearing person, you might not be able to sleep for weeks if you caught a glimpse of probably some of the stuff. I mean, I'm just guessing. Okay? I'm not allowed back there. How would I know what goes on? I may know a little more, though, than some people might think. I'm not allowed back there. Just saying. So the governor of Michigan, she says Michigan government will stay open. Budget coming this week. Now this is weird. Some of you guys can figure this out. Michigan government will stay up and running even if budget is not finalized by midnight. Whitmer said Tuesday. Now hold on a minute. The budget had to be passed July 31st. This is the fiscal cliff. The new fiscal year starts Wednesday at 12:01 a.m. The Constitution literally says they must have a balanced budget. There's not an option for them not to. They should all be thrown in jail. What do you guys think? If the supreme law of the land says you shall do this or else, they can't just keep this open. They can't constitutionally do it, in my opinion. I know I'm not a lawyer. This is just an opinion show, guys. But look, why do we even have a constitution anymore? If this says the legislature shall do this and they have an exact date they shall do it or else, you can't get it together, just shut the government down and it'll stay down while they're all serving their jail sentence. What do you think about that? I know that sounds crazy, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Look, we're paying their salaries anyways. Just tax me a few more percent. Wait, hold on a minute. I reject all taxation and stuff. I'd pay a little more taxes if I knew it was going to jail every last one of these. There you go. I'll start the GoFundMe for it right now. I'm so broke right now, I don't even know how I'm going to pay my bills here at the end of the month, and it's in 24 minutes. I'd pull $1 out of whatever, out of my you know what if I had to, if I knew it was going to jail, every last one of them. Just lock them up. It's not, so I'm continuing the article. It's not yet clear how Whitmer intends to avoid a government shutdown. I mean, midnight is a constitutional deadline for Whitmer and lawmakers to have a balanced budget in place, not just any budget, a balanced budget. Michigan government operations will continue as normal, quote, even if officials miss a midnight deadline to pass a budget, Governor Gretchen Whitmer said Tuesday, announcing but not explaining plans to avoid a state government shutdown. So no one knows how she's going to do it. She's not telling anybody how she's going to do it. She's simply stating where it's completely and utterly illegal for them to even be spending one penny, and in my opinion, to even be allowed to stay assembled if they don't pass a budget. She's just going to pretend nothing happened anyways. You know what I mean? Just like Harry Grimley says, he says, I'm so broke, not only my butt is cracked. I mean, you know, you guys know what I'm getting at. Is there a time? Am I the only one? I think maybe I am. I'm not really seeing anybody agreeing with me in the comments. That might have been too harsh for most people. I'm like, just block them all up, put them all in jail. I know. That sounds a little bit harsh. Shut it down, lock them all up. You just violated the law, right? I mean, look, I'm as broke as any of you right now. Trust me. I'm trying to figure out how to pay the tax man here. When I'm done with this stream, I'm going to get back to work on that. But I would pay just a little bit in taxes if it was to jail them. Buffalo Joey Jones, I'm so broke I can't pay attention. No, I hear you, man. I'm with you on that for sure. Okay, I'm looking at the house floor. Let me read this article a little more. There ain't nothing going on down there. 11:39 p.m. Pillbox bunker. Hi ho, hi ho. Off to Gitmo they go. Hey, that's a good. What's up, Pillbox bunker? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I missed it. It was just an announcement. Nothing really. They just said there was an announcement. The committee on labor and whatever was just adjourned. All right, let me go back to this article for just a second here. We're gonna hang out till midnight and see what happens. That's the goal here, which is in like 20 minutes. I don't know how Whitmer's gonna just keep it open. Look, there's nothing, in my opinion, constitutionally allowed where she can just unilaterally declare that everything stays open against the Constitution with nobody voting. I think I know what she's gonna do. Do you guys have any ideas what she's going to do? And if they do, it's going to be a very slippery slope. And it is going to, it's going to lead to basically put Michigan in the same exact boat as the federal government. Because what the federal government does, as they're getting ready to shut down, they just pass a real quick CR, a continuing resolution, kicks the can down the road. It'll allow temporary funding for 15 more days so they can do it again. Then they might do it a second or third time. As far as I know, they've never done that in Michigan before. I don't know how they can legally do it. Here's my prediction. Here's my hot take. I think they're going to try to pass some type of resolution. And other people have told me this too. But I don't know how they can legally do it. That's the problem. I think we're going to watch something go totally outside the rule of law in a few minutes. Hold on. Trying to keep up with this because they just keep doing these real quick little announcements. Instead of switching my screen back and forth, I'm just going to read a little bit of this article. So Gretchen says the state will continue as normal. All the Michigan government will, even if officials miss a midnight deadline. Now remember, the deadline was July 31st. This is the final line in the sand. You cannot operate the government one day or 1 second after this. Just keep remembering this. In a joint release, Whitmer and legislative leaders said they expect to adopt a budget at some point this week, but the bills had not yet been drafted for votes in the legislature. What? So they're not even written yet? They're not even printed yet? But they legally have to be voted on in 17 minutes? Here's another quote from Whitmer. As drafting continues, I'm grateful to legislators on both sides of the aisle for their work, and I am ready to conduct a final legal review and sign it into law after they send me the budget, Whitmer said in a statement. That's scaring the daylights out of me. Think about this. You guys know how radically leftist Whitmer is? And she's now grateful to legislators on both sides of the aisle? Dude, when she's happy with both sides of the aisle, I'm scared.
For the purposes of an announcement, the chair recognizes Representative Rogers.
House Democrats, please join us in caucus. House Democrats.
Oh, the Democrats are leaving the floor to go to caucus. They're not going to have much time for that. See, this, just to make this clear for anyone that's not familiar with how this works, this isn't just like, in my opinion, this isn't just like some little rule of the House. The Michigan Constitution states they shall have a balanced budget by midnight, or the state of Michigan is not allowed to operate. Michigan government hasn't been shut down since like 2005 and 2007, and when it did, it only did for a couple hours. But they did actually shut it down. Whitmer supposedly has some trick up her sleeve where she's like, I ain't going to shut it down at all. Everything is going to continue as normal. She's very happy with the agreement. She's very happy with what Republicans and Democrats have proposed. You tell me, is that a good thing she's happy at what both sides have proposed? Or are you scared because she's happy with what both sides have proposed? Robin Sage with a super chat. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Says, keep up the great work, brother. What new trash GC are they trying to foist on us now? Well, if the government shuts down, we could run into some issues with getting CPLs issued, purchase permits being granted, whatever you want to call it. You have to be granted a permit if you don't have a CPL to purchase a gun now in Michigan. Hunting licenses, many other things outside the 2A, state parks, liquor, Secretary of State, just you name it, school lunch. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. So we're seeing right now what's going to happen just in a few minutes here because, man, they've got something up their sleeve. Because knowing the government's going to be shutting down in 15 minutes could be one thing. Shut it down. But now we've got it where Whitmer's saying, we're going to continue as normal. We're going to refuse to shut down. Is this some new version of like a martial law? Is this like, I hereby do declare I'm the empress from another galaxy and I no longer even recognize that this is Michigan anymore? Is there going to be a Constitution burning ceremony right on the House floor in a few minutes? I don't know. I hope not. Like, what do you have to do? Wouldn't you have to first just burn the Constitution in front of the people before you're like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. The Constitution says we shall do this or we're not allowed to operate the government. She's like, yeah. I thought they were going to try to vote in a continuing resolution real quick. They don't have time to do that. They've only got 13 minutes. I don't even know if they're going to do that, actually. few minutes ago, I said, I think they're going to try to pass some continuing resolution, which would be a legal loophole maybe around all of this, like by the semantics of the law, but not the spirit of the law. Now that we're watching it, we got 13 minutes left. Okay. I don't even think they have time to rush some kind of continuing resolution. So now I think it's just going to be no holds barred, completely rogue. Just whatever the heck they feel like it. Just, you know what I'm saying? It's hard really to put into words. Neo Lexington, Michigan's starting to feel a lot like California light. I know. Here's what else is on the line for anyone just trying to. This is very important. Because I just say shut it all down. Shut it all down. Leave it down. Bye. See ya. Miss ya. Not at all. Bye-bye. Right? But look. There's supposed to be some gun control repeal in this budget. I have been rest assured that previous versions of this budget had in there, no matter what, defunding this tip hotline. Where they, right now there's $1 million in funding for a hotline where students and kids can call and rat their parents out to have the government come to take their guns out of the home. Democrats funded that when they had the trifecta 2 years ago. They did that last year. Still stands right now. Just last year, this time when they were passing the budgets, Democrats still had a trifecta. They crammed it through, and now Republicans in their budget, they're supposed to not be compromising on this, supposed to be removing that. It's supposed to be removing all the funding for MDHHS, just going after guns, intrusiveness within your home, within your family, trying to turn children against their parents. But they're compromising in the back room as we speak. They're in the back room as we speak, and they're making deals. The bill's going to be a couple thousand plus pages. No one's going to have time to look at it, let alone read it. Canada's starting gun confiscation right now. I know. I saw that. A viewer in front of the channel sent me a link to that just the other day. I'm not sure if he's watching. Court of Public Opinion. Thank you. I saw the chief of the Ottawa police or whatever his title is. We have the means. We have the technology. We have the manpower. We know where they're at. I'm paraphrasing, but he literally said something really creepy like that. And now we're coming for your guns. Alberta, as of right now, is refusing. Saskatchewan, I think, is refusing to aid them or something. I think Saskatchewan's not on board either, but Alberta is more fiercely fighting back. I don't know how they can pass anything. There's 11 minutes on the official clock. I don't even think they're going to be able to pass anything cute right now, like a continuing resolution. I don't see how they do it. They're saying the government's not going to shut down. But it has to. I don't know what country I live in anymore, or what state I live in anymore. I see my favorite representative, Jamie Thompson, sitting up there in the center of the screen, right near the front, next to Riley Linting, who's also a friend of mine. I've known Riley for several years. I met her when she was the Michigan GOP youth chair. I knew she was going to be a rising star. I went to welcome her to the house when I was there on opening day and went into her office to say hi to her. And we already knew each other and happy to see each other. And it was cool, man. She had this pink, she's a girl, cool, pink. She had this pink GOA hat just sitting right there, like right behind her desk. Like, you don't wear ball caps on the floor of the house, right? But she had her GOA hat sitting right there in her office. I'm like, all right, that's cool, If Jamie wasn't on the house floor, I'd send her a text to see if she wanted to jump in on stream there and say hi to you guys. Let me see what they're going to do here in just a couple minutes. I'll text Jamie and see what she's up to in just a couple minutes. Actually, I'm going to text her right now. Let's see. Let's text our representative right now. See, I walk the walk. I tell you guys to get involved. You can see right there in the center of the screen, if you look right in the middle aisle, in the black outfit, that's my representative, Jamie Thompson, Michigan's 28th district. And I always tell you guys, you have to be constantly getting a hold of your representatives. So let's walk the walk here and be a good role model. Let's text our Michigan representative at 11:52 p.m. Let's see. What's going to happen by midnight? I'm going to ask her. No continuing resolution? Question mark? I can spell continuing. Just give me a moment, guys. We're texting our state representatives. All of you that have your state rep's number right now, send them a text as we speak. You don't have their number, it's because you should have been in communication with them this whole time. You know what I mean? It's a little friendly challenge. Everyone get out your phones that live in Michigan and start texting your state representative. I'm just going to ask her one question at once. I was about ready to unload on her and ask her 55 questions. All right, let's see what the state representative says. You guys have any questions in the chat? We're going to hang out a few more minutes, at least till midnight, to see what happens. This could go on for days. I just want to show you guys how this works in real life. What's up, Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy? How you doing, man? Robin, what's happened? He says, I find my tiredness to be tiresome. I agree. What's happening, Dale? Thank you for being a long-time channel member. Guys, I'm out on local. Make sure you guys are following me up.
The House will come to order.
Okay, they're coming to order.
Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Pastumus.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of motions and resolutions.
Without objection, so ordered.
We're going to try to do a
Speaker
resolution.
recognizes Majority Floor Leader Pastumus.
Just let the members know when the House adjourns, it stands adjourned until Wednesday, October 1st, 2025 at 12:01 a.m.
Without objection, so ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Pastumus.
Move to adjourn.
Whoa.
Majority Floor Leader moves to adjourn. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The House is adjourned.
Whoa. So they was going to motion for a resolution, and then immediately he just adjourned. And I do have that in confirmation right now. Okay. So this is where, okay, so we just went black on that. I'm going to bring this back up in 1 second here. Give me 6 minutes. Yeah, so like I said, we got it like 2 seconds before it happened. I was just not looking at my phone, right? So, hey, I'm streaming. What is going to happen by midnight? No continuing resolution? She came back and said no. She said, see, we adjourn and then come back in, but there's nothing. I'm going to ask her how long her break is. She hasn't even been able to sleep. She laid down for 1 hour in the hotel. They can't even sleep at this point, which that's fine. I mean, they shouldn't sleep if they can't pass something, but it's not people like her's fault necessarily. They have no say in this right now. It's these people in the back room. Okay. So the government has 3 minutes and it constitutionally has to shut down, guys. I'm going to bring up the next House session because what happens is since they adjourned it for the day, they instantly blacked it out. At 12:01 a.m., they should be starting another one. As of right now, that is not accessible yet. Okay. I've just got this on standby. The Constitution says in 3 minutes. Give me 1 second here. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to see here, set this up. Oh, the Dems are pulling all kinds of crap right now. Trust me, I'm not happy with either of the parties generally, but I need to be honest. If you were to ask me who's more at fault right now, oh, the Dems are a lot more at fault even yet. Okay, so after 12:01, I think I might be able to do this. Do you guys want the state representative to come on and talk to us just for a couple minutes here at 12:01? Let me know. Or after 12:01 here, let me know and I will send her an invite. (12:01 a.m.) So for whoever's wondering why is it shutting down Dragon's Breath, because the Michigan Constitution says that they have to pass a budget, a balanced budget, before 12:01 a.m. on October 1st. That's in 3 minutes. And if they don't, then they're not allowed to operate, but they're going to do something sneaky instead. Okay, let me see what I can do, guys. If she doesn't come on for some reason, it's not because we didn't want to, but I'm going to send her the invite right now. All right. I sent her the invite, so we will be on standby. She can't join us right this minute because keep in mind, they're getting ready to come back into session in 2 minutes. She's on the floor of the House of Representatives right now as we speak. Yeah, Seth Morris, I agree. They don't care. I just don't know what's going on right now. She is going to try her best. We're texting right now, so we may have a representative on in just a minute here, which would be cool because she's frustrated about a lot of this right now as well. I can tell she's very frustrated. Just the burden on somebody who's a good person, and how can you vote on something that you can't even read, you know? It's just terrible. Could you possibly think it's a good bill for the people if you can't read it? They better not have compromised. Okay, let me share this real quick. They better not have compromised and got rid of the repeal of those funds for gun control. Okay. All right, 12 a.m. So in 1 minute, we're going to see what happens here. Is there going to be some big magical vote here? Because constitutionally, the government is shutting down right this second. It just hit 12:01 on my clock. The governor says she ain't letting anything shut down. I don't know how she can do this. It's outside the Constitution.
The House will come to order. The invocation today will be given by the Honorable Representative Mark Tisdale, State Representative from the 55th District. Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise?
Let's pray. God of Abraham, Give me grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed, courage to change the things which should be changed, and the wisdom to distinguish the one from the other. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. This I pray in the name of the divine Spirit that lives within us all. Amen.
The clerk will open the board for the purpose of taking attendance. The board is now open. Members, you may check in at your desk.
Sorry, guys. I had to blow my nose. Getting over a cold here. I haven't really sneezed like I thought I was gonna. Okay, hold on 1 second here. Okay. We have our favorite representative, Jamie Thompson, from the House floor.
Hi, guys. Hi, everyone.
What's happening, Jamie?
Looks like I'm getting called to caucus right now.
Right this second?
Yeah, but I can. So we all just, we had to adjourn at 11:59 or before, and then we just all, then we re-come to order, and everyone takes attendance, and right now we're at ease, and we're going to caucus. So
Okay,
after we get out of caucus, if you're still on, I can jump on and we can have a chat. Please don't even look at what I look at right now. I'm so tired.
Well, thank you for joining us. Yeah, come back in a minute if you can. Just real quick, is the government shut down right this second?
Yes.
Okay, I would think so.
Yes. Now, as stated before, all I even know as a representative is whatever department at what level that's going to entail, that is up to Whitmer.
Okay,
so
cool.
hopefully I'll find out some more when I go back here in caucus.
Thank you. If it's not too long and we're still live, if you could join us again, I did have a couple quick two-way questions for you.
Yeah, I will. Absolutely.
Everyone in the chat says you're awesome, and thanks you for jumping on right now. Thank you.
You are welcome. I love you guys all at home, and I'm going to keep fighting for you guys.
All right, see you soon.
Now let me figure out how to get off of this thing now. I don't know, Micah, how do I hang it up?
I think it says leave studio. Is there a little red thing on there?
I'm going to try clicking this one.
All right, she figured it out. There you go. So, yeah, technically right now the House is going into caucus, as you just heard. And she couldn't talk long because they just got called into a caucus meeting. That's how it goes in Lansing. So the government is, as far as I know, legally shut down as we speak. What's the governor going to do? What deals are they making right now? So they're going to the caucus room. Let me show you real quick here. You guys heard it first here, literally. Like, I highly doubt there's anybody broadcasting anywhere with a sitting representative literally on the House floor. And let me see where we are at here. Let me fast forward this to live. I'll get right back on here and share. Where's my... All right. So, yeah, there's Jamie that we were just talking to. It looks like now she's wearing white, meaning she probably just took her jacket off, right? Usually I go by what color they're wearing. Now she's scurrying it off, and she is the very last Republican sprinting into the caucus room. So there you go. That's cool when you have a legislator that's willing to prioritize the small YouTube channels people, you know, us, the people that actually care about this stuff, where she's probably getting yelled at because she's not the caucus meeting yet. You know, you guys saw what I saw, right? She was the very last one that left the room. When they say get in there, they mean business. Right, Harry? We'll go have her back if she needs us, won't we? If she's getting in trouble right now. 30 lashes because you were late for the caucus meeting, right? And thank you, Harry. He's reminding all of you to hit the thumbs up, which I do appreciate. I appreciate you all watching. Look, we got to be out on this together. Even though we had 10 seconds, I was like, Representative, there's people really thanking you in the chat here, you know? Dude, she hasn't even been able to sleep. She slept 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? Lori, what's happening, Lori? How you doing? She says, shut it all down. Now we can save on taxes. That's what I said, dude. Just shut it down. Shut it down. We're not going to pull an all-nighter tonight, guys, but let's hang on just for a few more minutes, see if they have a trick up their sleeve. They basically just gaveled in the session. And then now they're doing something right now in the caucus room. Lord only knows what they're doing. Rebel says, keep it shut down. We never needed them. Look, man, I believe the government's legally shut down right now. The governor's going to say it's not. Is the governor even in the country right now? Does anybody know? Where is, I mean, these people are all over the place. All right. Does anybody have any questions? I want to hang out just for a few more minutes because I can't stay up all night today, guys. I have been fighting a bad cold. I have lots of paperwork I still have to finish. I have some work to do tomorrow. But let's hang out a few more minutes together because I know it's kind of like, look, we're not gonna stay up tonight till 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't have that in me, and I don't know if we need to, but something's telling me maybe just hang out for a few more minutes because there could be something weird going on. It's not that I don't trust it, I just don't trust it. Does that make sense? I just don't quite trust it. Was about to head to bed. No, I know it's getting late for a lot of you guys. Let's hang out for 5 minutes. And if you guys don't mind, can you excuse me just for 5 minutes? I'm battling a cold, you know, and I know my voice is a little annoying. I kind of need to just like step out just for a minute and like really kind of blow my nose and kind of stuff like that. So just give me 1 second. I'll be back in a few minutes. And yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait and see how long the caucus is. And I'd like to ask Representative Thompson a few more questions. All right. So just hang on. I will be back in just a few minutes. I know it's getting late for some of you, but let's hang out maybe for another 20 minutes or so, just because weird stuff happens in the middle of the night. All right, I'll be right back. Just talk to each other in the chat, guys. Be friends. You guys need to be there for each other. So talk it up. I'll see you in 5. All right, guys, I'll have my camera back on in 2 seconds here. And thank you for the advice. I am taking lots of vitamins, some of them that you guys have literally just suggested. And also, breaking news, the United States government is just shut down. The Michigan government and the United States government are shut down. I was kind of laughing. The representatives like, don't mind my looks, guys. I'm, have it slapped and all of that. And I'm like, dude, look at me right now. Jeez, oh, Pete. I mean, she's always going to look better than I do, but you know what I'm saying. Yeehaw. I'm going to celebrate a little bit. Shut it all down. If I wasn't so sick right now, I'd probably walk outside of this shop and dance me a little jig. Instead, I was just kind of moping over there to take a piss a second ago. Ooh, I know, Red. What do you guys think about what Red just said? Let's talk to our friend Red here, and he is my friend. How you doing, man? What do you think about what he just said there, guys? This is what it's all about. I mean, what'll Israel do if we can't send them $1 million a day? What will they do? You guys answer these questions for me? Dude, what if we can't give Ukraine any more bombs? What's going to happen? Michigan Senate. Thank you, Rick. Michigan Senate's coming back at 12:30. Dude, Dale, I saw your locals comment. That was a sweet score you purchased. Dude, make sure you guys are checking out the 2A EDU locals community. We're going to be streaming there tomorrow night, probably a lot earlier than tonight, maybe 9 o'clock. It's not going to be politics. We can touch guns while we're there. I'm going to have a guest. We're going to talk about all kinds of gun and ammo related stuff. It's free to join, or you can support to help be a sponsor of the channel. So make sure you guys are following 2A EDU on locals. Link is in the description. My friend Dale scored a heck of a deal there. I can't promote the deal here because of the terms of service, but he scored himself something. That's pretty cool, man. I did see, I was out earlier today, and I did see your message come through, and yeah, Dale bought something really cool, guys, that he saved like tons of money on, and I think a lot of you would like it as well. All right, and for half the price of another place, right? And by him using my deal, I shared it. He financially contributed to the channel. So make sure you guys are checking out my locals and my X feed when you're looking for stuff, if you know what I mean. What's gonna happen, Red? That good old EBT. That's a lot of people need that to eat. That was a complex question. The government shut down in all 50 states, Donovan says. The federal government has shut down. What's happening, Liberty, Nevada? How you doing, man? Make sure you check him out over on X. I need to repost one of his posts on my timeline so you guys can follow him. He always shares my streams on X, which is really nice on him. I know a lot of you guys help share when you can, and this is a small channel, but try to do cool stuff here you might not get anywhere else. I'm not staying live all night. We're going to see what's going on in that caucus room just for a few minutes. If time permits, if they let her out of the locked room, maybe our good friend Representative Jamie Thompson will come back on with us. She wanted to talk to us for like a few minutes. Me and her have been planning this all day. She said, I want to talk to the people. Look, she's hung out with a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys in the chat right here that I see have shot guns with her and stuff before. She considers a lot of you guys like good friends. You know what I'm saying? And I tell her she gets best wishes from people all over the country. She wants to hang out with us, but here's the problem. Caucus call. Just so you guys know, if somebody refuses to go to the caucus call, they can say Sergeant at Arms. They can be physically escorted in there. So she's stuck in a caucus room right now. It's one of the old back rooms. And your wives. Yes, sir, Dale. Oh, yeah, man. She likes you and Cheryl and Pillbox and his wife. I don't know how many people like to use their first names on here, so we'll leave it at that. Sorry for doxing Cheryl. But I think she's used her name publicly on here before. The lovely Linda, Mrs. 2A EDU. Yeah, we're just going to wait a few more minutes, see if they let the representatives out of the old back room, and just see, because she might be getting info right now. This is literally like, we have someone who's willing to come back on the stream. If they let her out in time, then we'll be hearing information before anybody. No reporters are allowed in there. So maybe we can get a little bit of a scoop, like a breaking update as soon as she comes out. Does that make sense? So I'd like to wait just a few more minutes for that. Win the lottery, you won't be able to collect. That's a good point. Ooh. Well, as they say, you can't win if you don't play. I don't play, so I'm just going to stay broke, I know, it's not fun being sick while you work. I know, I'm making the best of it, though, man. I have a family that loves me. I have a bunch of cool friends I'm hanging out with right now. I am very grateful of life. Very grateful. A little bit miserable the last couple days, like, you guys know what I'm saying. I'm not going to lie. I've been kind of on the miserable side but I'm very grateful. I want you guys to know that. I complain about so much stuff because we have to. We have to fight, but don't ever confuse me. I am very grateful for the few things that do truly matter in life. Are they coming back into the House floor? Hold on a minute. Yeah, things can always be worse. And man, I just want to encourage you guys. I know you all have something to be grateful for. Just try to focus on the good things in your life, because I know there's a lot of really bad things in all of your lives. I know there are. But please, just do it for yourself. That's my one challenge for all of you tonight. Try to find something that you're truly grateful for and think about it and have pleasant thoughts about it. You know what I mean? What's happening, Paul Bennett? Nice to see you, man. And thank you for the best wishes. Yeah, Lori says, when you complain, we all relate, because some days it feels like I don't know what the world I'm in anymore. I know. We do complain a lot about this on this channel. We need to complain about all this BS. We do. I think all of you know exactly what I'm saying right now. We need to keep complaining, and we need to right this ship once and for all. But we still need to be grateful. We still need to be very, very grateful for things that we should appreciate. What's up, Robert Chase? How you doing, man? Yeah, I'm taking some of the slow release guaifenesin, the Equate off-brand version, of Mucinex, I guess it would be. And then, I've got Opti Zinc. I'm kind of looking over there on top of my fridge at the shop. That's where all my stash is for my cold. I have quercetin with bromelain. All right. I have vitamin C. And I have NAC, N-acetylcysteine. And I have bottles of water over there. I have elderberry juice concentrate. You know what I'm saying? Elderberry juice. Like, this is the pure stuff that I have. It's like really, really good for you, I think. No medical advice. You know what I mean? But, well, thank you, Paul Bennett. I appreciate you guys. I just got done redoing a cool deck. I posted it on Locals if you guys want to see pictures of it over there. I was working like a dog all week long. It actually took me closer to 2 weeks because there was rain for 3 days, and I was keeping up on my lawns. Keep in mind, guys, I'm doing all this by myself. My wife does help me with one big account, but essentially I'm doing this all by myself. And man, I just worked like a dog, just stripping this deck off, disposing of all the old wood, pumping wet pressure treated wood. I was working good, feeling great, and then I caught a cold. It wasn't because I worked hard that I got sick. I work hard all the time. But I was feeling good, and just as I get this deck done, I'm just like, oh boy. I also have some of that X-Lear, however you pronounce it. Clear, X-Lear. It's like xylitol it's like a nasal spray. Just little stuff like that people have told me about, and I think it works good. Okay, they're coming out of the caucus room. It's 12:24. We'll hang out in a few minutes. Well, thank you, Dale. Dale saw the post. He said, nice work, too. We would like to redo our deck. Look, I do what the customer can, what the customer can afford, what they want. In this case, I, repaired some of the bad joists and changed out the rim joists, redid the stops, stripped off all the decking, the upper handrail, but I was able to salvage the spindles and posts. I can do it all new from start to finish. Sometimes it's as little as I replace one rotten board and then I stain. I do a lot of stuff with decks, but in this case, it called for me replacing a little bit of the structure and the stops, and then redecking it. And, well, you guys can see if you look at the pictures on my Locals. It's a free post for everybody. I will have to look into that, Rick. I don't really get sick a lot, guys. I'm not complaining. I just wanted you to understand why, I sound like crap, because I guess I'm a little bit embarrassed to be talking like this. Let's just give this another minute here and see what they're up to, because, I don't know what they're up to right now, really. I don't really like it, though. I'm happy they're shut down, actually. I am. It's kind of like there's a bad mood rising. You know what I'm saying? You know that old song, Don't Go Out Tonight, It's Bound to Take Your Life? I mean, it's just kind of like, look, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but when you're at night and there's something going on in the legislature, it just kind of reminds me of that tread lightly when you're out at night amongst these.
For the purposes of an announcement, the chair recognizes Representative Young.
Thank you. Democratic colleagues, we have caucus in the caucus room. Democratic colleagues, caucus in the caucus room.
No, they're in the caucus room. Great. Red says, I stay positive. I'm witnessing a story untold in all of history. Man and machine, good and evil. Well, good and evil is what it's always been about. That's all it's ever going to be. Everything's so complicated, but it's just so darn simple. Are you guys into nutritious stuff and whatever? I'll show you the elderberry juice I have if anyone's interested. It's right over there in the fridge. Dale says, I hope Matt Hall doesn't do his rhino moves. I know. I'm kind of worried about that, though. Kind of worried about it. Yeah, give me 1 second here. I'll show you guys. This is the Wildwood Cellars. They're actually a winery, but in this case, this is elderberry concentrate made with black elderberries. Refrigerator after opening, not an extract. No artificial sweetener, contains no alcohol. So this is literally the real deal. This is concentrated, which to me is better. You're actually getting the real juice, just in a highly concentrated form, which you guys can research all this if you want, is different than extract. So this is good stuff. They do not give it away. And look, I'm not promoting the site, but excuse me. You can get this from Amazon. It's cheaper if you buy a 2-pack. And I have barely any of this left. This one's almost empty, but I do have another one. I'll literally mix like half of an ounce of this with 16 ounces of water, like a whole water bottle. And it's not going to be sweet at all if you just pour it in there. But you could, even though it's not good for you, add some sugar if you had to make it bearable or whatever. And you'll taste the elderberry. It's that potent. It's like putting like just a little thimbleful in a whole bottle of water. Or if you just wanted to shoot it like a little shot, kind of plug your nose because it is a little bit, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit strong if you drink it straight. Like, but I think it has a very pleasant flavor when you mix it. So yeah, this is the Wildwood Cellars. This is black elderberries. And it comes in a nice brown bottle, which is to keep the UV away from it, to keep it from damaging it. So there you go. Yeah, some of the people in the chat are saying, you know, it has all kinds of good effects. I believe it's very nutritious. That's just my personal opinion. Seth Morris, Jesus Christ always has us. I know. That's awesome, isn't it? Let's see what's going on the house floor here. I'm just gonna hang out a few more minutes. It's 12:30. All right, Jamie's out of the caucus room. Let me see. Let me put this elderberry away. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. And then we'll text I'll text Jamie again in 1 second. All right. I don't remember exactly what it costs right this second, man. Like, maybe it's like 38 bucks or 40 bucks for 2 of those. That sounds like a fortune, but this stuff is so potent. Okay, it's a concentrate. You can literally, out of that bottle, like, make so much of it. It's not even funny if you're mixing it with water. All right, let me text her again and see what she's up to. All right, I just texted her. I see where she's walking down the house TV. She may be using the ladies' room or something too. Keep in mind. I used to have an Amazon link I could have shared with you guys that used to help the channel, but they kicked me out of their program. You know what I mean? Okay. She's just excusing herself, or she's texting me right now. She's just excusing herself for a couple minutes, and she's going to be able to join us again. I'm telling her they want to see you again for a couple minutes. We'll hang out with Representative Jamie Thompson in just a few minutes here. Hold on a minute. Hello, Representative.
Hey, everyone. Well, that was
Hey.
short and sweet. So I have good news, but I can't tell you the good news yet because we have to make sure that what we plan on doing does happen.
Okay.
So hold your breath for about another 30 minutes. Stay on and watch for another 30 minutes. We're hoping that we can do this in 30 minutes.
Oh, so you guys are still
That's-
planning to try to do something late at night here?
Yes,
One other
yes, we're
quick-
waiting. We're waiting to take a vote. That would be very good for us right now. But I
Okay.
can't tell you what it is. So just keep watching the live stream. And we were told by the Senate that we should have it in about 30 minutes.
Okay, we'll hang out for a little bit longer. One other big thing we've been concerned with for a long time is, do you have any knowledge right now if this new budget, as it's being negotiated and ongoing, are we still defunding that tip hotline for kids to rat on their parents to get their guns taken?
Per Representative Maddock, our appropriations vice chair, that has been removed from the language. So that is not in this budget.
Okay, that's awesome. Maddock told me personally he was going to fight for that. I know you've been fighting really hard for that this whole time, so that's awesome. Anything that you can think of that's gun control wise that they're trying to sneak in on us at the last minute?
No, not that I have seen or heard. The biggest thing that we fought for in the budget was to get rid of the fraud, the waste, and the abuse. It's absolutely unreal how much pork Democrats want in the budget and how much they call it revenue. They want the state of Michigan to have revenue, which just relates to tax increases. I think they really, truly, I've talked to so many staffers that have worked closely with leadership on the budget. I'm not on appropriations, I'm on policy, so I haven't been at the table for these discussions, but talking to them, it's just like, man, this has really made me even more fiscally conservative because they act like this is just paper money and that it's not coming from real taxpayers. So there was some compromise made. You know, for example, we wanted to get rid of 4,500 ghost employees. The Democrats would only come to the table and get rid of 2,000. So there's still 2,500 out there that needs to get rid of. But for every accommodation that was made for them, they gave us something.
Did you say go?
It sucks to be in divided government. What was that?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're not getting the best reception. Did you say ghost?
Yeah, phantom employees.
That's a
Phantom
thing?
employees. So when yes. So for example, every time there's a budget, maybe a new funding mechanism was created for a new program. So we had hundreds of programs. So what they found out in the appropriation when they went line by line, okay, there's this program, I don't even know what it's called. I'm going to call it Houses for Pets. There's a program called Houses for Pets. We need 50 employees to run that program. So they funded the program, and then they funded 50 employees at about $100,000 to $170,000 a year that came out of the general fund, but nobody knows where it went, and it never funded an employee. So you have multiple of those programs across the state of Michigan. So when we say that we really did take a chunk out of everything and get rid of the nonsense that was going on, the budget that has been negotiated that is supposed to pass is a 1% decrease from last year's budget, which sounds like little, but if you think about it, typically in most states, the budget does go up every year. So for the first time in Michigan, probably that any of us can remember, the budget actually did come down. So it came down 1% total, and it came down 5.5% from the general fund. We decreased the spending. So we decreased the spending in the state of Michigan, which is a huge win.
Yes, that is.
I'm getting called, so I have to go.
Okay.
Watch what happens. Hopefully we get this bill in 30 minutes, and it is good news. So hopefully we get it, and hopefully we get it passed.
Okay, well,
And then
maybe
I can jump on if you guys are still on, or I'll text you.
Okay, real quick.
All right.
If
Bye,
you see-
everyone. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, I'll talk
Thank
to you
you
in a
for
sec.
watching us, and thank you for taking the time. Okay. All right. Bye.
See you later. Bye. All right, guys. I was trying to ask her one more real quick question, but you could tell there was a little bit of a lag because she is in the middle of a big, huge building, and there's not good cell phone service there. So that's all right. I was going to ask her one last minute question, but well, We'll see what's going to happen in a few minutes. I guess they're going to try something in 20 minutes. We will see what happens. I think I was giving you guys the one bottle price that I said too. Look, I'm kind of out of it right now, guys. And actually, I got really lucky last time. I didn't have to buy it. My mom actually gave me 2 bottles as a gift. So, did you guys hear that a second ago? Ghost employees? I'm listening to her and she's like, well, we tried to get rid of 4,500 ghost employees, but the Democrats wanted to keep all the ghost employees. And I'm thinking, well, you heard me. I'm like, did you say ghost? What? Yeah, I guess there's ghost employees. A phantom employee that makes more money than probably most people that are watching right now. I mean, you guys don't need to literally answer this because it's your personal business, but how many people in the chat make more than $170,000 a year? You know what I mean? Like, that was interesting. Oh, I didn't know about that. That's not one of the things that I had really heard like too much before. I'm like, ghost, like Casper, the friendly ghost? And then I'm like, no, this isn't friendly. This is the government here. So let me get this straight. I'm working my butt off, broke as a joke, and there's literally ghost employees, like currently 4,500, it sounds like, that make like between $100,000 to $170,000 a year. Jeez, oh, Pete, there must be good money in being a ghost. What is it? Can anyone explain this to me? I must be missing something here. I mean, you guys saw my raw reaction, literally. Like, I'm talking to her, and I don't want to interrupt her because her time is very limited. You know, she's stepping outside just for a minute, and she has to go right back into the chamber. You know, maybe grabbing a snack, taking a leak, whatever you got to do. These people haven't slept. I think she slept 1 hour today, right? So I didn't want to keep her too much, but I'm just like, did you say ghost? Like, what? Wow. See, this is where I learn along with you guys. I have been following this stuff a lot for a long time, and I primarily stick to the Second Amendment. Although, as you guys, I care about many issues, but yeah, I'm going to have to sleep on this and think about what I just heard. I mean, really? Let's see if you guys can explain this to me. What's a ghost when it comes to ghost employee? Right, Lori? Dale says, oh, yeah, the Democrat slush fund. Okay. OG Tech, employees that don't shut up anymore. I think he means show up anymore. Oh, so is it just like they get a job and then they just stop showing up and nobody cares or notices and they just keep getting their check? That would be literally insane. How many of you guys would still get paid from your job if you literally just didn't show up anymore? Okay. The federal government shut down too now, by the way, guys. Robert Chase, feds have ghosts too. Well, yeah, I'm assuming if Michigan does. This is crazy. Raptor J with a channel member and says, that's quite the scoop too, eh? Nice job. Well, you're welcome. So we're finding out for the first time they're going to try something. As she said, we'll have to see if it's going to work or not, but something's going to happen here rather shortly. Okay, I see people just kind of still milling around the house. We'll bring it back up here in 1 second. Okay. Robin says, just like they're ghost voters. Okay, now I get it. Ghost voter, I do understand that. You know the old saying, he was a Republican his whole life until the day he died. Now he's voting nothing but Democrat. That I do actually understand a little bit about. That's very common. These funeral homes, and I mean they can't even hardly bury them, and then they're already voting Democrat immediately. Look, guys, I'm not a political person. You know, I don't like either party. But I've got to call a spade a spade. These Democrats are worse. Okay? So don't mistake myself when I say that. They are worse. It's up to you if you like less worse. And that's a whole other conversation. Just these Democrats are getting real bad. Rick says Matt Hall's been talking about ghost employees. Okay. They found almost 5,000 of them. Wow. Wow. See, I'm just waiting for Matt Hall to talk about really pushing a hearing, committee hearing, and a floor vote on like red flag repeal. Okay. As of right now, Representative Thompson's telling us that the defunding of that expensive tip hotline through MDHHS and all that, that's defunded as of right now. So that's a bit of good news, isn't it? Or less worse news. Like, we do want to defund some of this gun control, right? I like it being shut down, but when it does inevitably reopen, we do want it defunding gun control, I hope. Raptor J, it's money laundering. Okay, I got it. Okay. Lori's not surprised. Surprised they went line by line and actually found it. Yeah. I mean, if you guys make more than 170 grand a year, shout out to you, man. That's awesome. I truly mean that. I'm just saying, like, most people probably don't make that much. You guys are all getting one up by a ghost. Can you believe that? Okay, Trump got rid of a bunch of them too. All right. Yeah. Fluffy says, I'll be lucky that I make 20K this year before I lost my job. Well, good luck to you, man. I hope you can find something better soon. Yeah, maybe you can apply for one of those ghost jobs. There we go. Yeah, man. Yeah, Robin says that would be a nice raise indeed. Yeah, I've always bought the elderberry either in 1 or 2 bottles at a time. I don't know about 3. If I said for 3 bottles, I misspoke. I don't remember saying that. Someone getting paid for not being there. Fake names and addresses? Wow. Jeez. Okay. As Hat Grifter says, ghost employees are no-show jobs that still pay. So they're still getting paid. Jeez. This is sick. Rojo says it just like ghosts, you can see right through them. All right. Yeah. Well, some of you guys obviously know more about this than me, so thanks for filling me in. And inflation's so high, 170 grand ain't what it used to be either, trust me. I ain't saying you're rich if you make 170 grand either, just probably making a lot more than essentially almost everybody else, you know. But no, I'm not a commie. I'm not into reapportionment of wealth. Trust me, guys. There's someone out there making $1 million a year. Shout out to you, man. Like seriously. I could care less. I'm more worried about good people right now. And I know there's a lot of people struggling to make their bills, though. And if there's ghost government employees, dude, these Dems are getting so radical now. That's the crazy part. It's the crazy part because a lot of this stuff that's super extreme are just regular, run-of-the-mill, mainstream Democrat ideals now. Like, every single one of them votes for, like, the most extreme thing. Just remember, they passed it where you can put an X now for your sex on your driver's license. I mean, come on. You can be male, you can be female, you can be X. I mean, look. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. It's just the way it is. It's what it is. God loves you just the way he made you. I promise you that. You know what I mean? No, I'm serious. I promise you. God loves everyone the way he made them. Now we have X. Just think about this for a minute. Boys have outdoor plumbing, girls have indoor plumbing. Duh. I mean, you know, it was always so simple to figure it out. Like now you don't even know anymore. What's a woman? I don't know. That's what they said. The Supreme Court justice? I don't know. Nobody knows. Excuse me, sir, ma'am, X. Whoa. I mean, that's mainstream now. Like every single Democrat legislator in the state of Michigan voted for that. Everyone. Mustafa says they are the ghost employees. That's how they make millions. Yeah, I think this is something where, like, as the old saying goes, in a legit situation, the dog wags its own tail, right? Are dogs still allowed to have tails anymore? I mean, look, we don't know what a man or woman is, supposedly. I mean, I do, and I know you guys do, duh. But most of these don't. But is a dog still allowed to have a tail? Let's pretend it does. In an ideal situation, the dog wags its own tail, doesn't it? Many times, though, when it comes to this stuff, the tail actually wags the old dog. I think you guys know what I mean by that. Sometimes the tail wags the dog. Red says, I'm not a socialist, but regulation monopoly has destroyed the prospect of building the dream. Service only, or you're competing with Chinese slave labor. I know, dude. You know, look, capitalism's one thing. Crony capitalism, completely different. Crony capitalism is a bad thing. I identify as two-way. Me too. Me too, actually. Oh, I think tariffs are perfectly appropriate. Look, there's a lot of slaves in China. You guys know that, right? Hold on. Wojo says, how can a dog's tail be a wagon? Well, here's the thing, though. So I'm like, sometimes the dog wags its own tail. Sometimes the tail wags the dog. But then I had to stop because can we even accept the premise anymore? Is a dog allowed to have a tail? I don't know. They're getting rid of he or she and all the bills. They're getting rid of his and her. Just everything's just going to be this sterilized whatever. Well, I guess if they sterilize everything, we won't need as big of a budget for food stamps, I guess. Maybe that's the goal. We're just going to hang out a few more minutes, guys. As late as it's getting, hang out a few more minutes because, as our friend, the state representative, said, they're going to try something here in a few minutes. We'll see what it is. You guys do know a budget's going to pass eventually, no matter what. Okay. Not saying I accept the premise, but when it does pass, we're hoping that it's defunding prior gun control that was put in through the budget. That's what we're hoping for. I mean, that's from a two-way standpoint, right? Ghost employees, that's a spooky thought. I know. SG 6970, what's going on tonight? Well, the Michigan government's officially shut down right now. If it stays shut down, there could be some implications. It may be difficult to get a CPL, to get the license to purchase, the purchase permits if you're trying to buy a gun, hunting licenses, many other things outside the 2A. Where if they're going to pass a budget, although a lot of my viewers are saying just keep it shut down, we would hope if it's going to have to pass regardless, we hope that it does defund things like that tip hotline that was encouraging students, at schools, children to rat out their own parents about firearms within the home, so the government can come and take them. Keep in mind, red flag laws have passed in Michigan. There's been no will yet by the Judiciary Chairman, Sarah Leitner, to even have a hearing for Representative DeSantis' red flag repeal. There appears to be no will and has not been any yet for the Republican Speaker of the House, Matt Hull, to try to push for a floor vote to have at least the House try to repeal red flag laws. It'd be a big step for me and a lot of people to at least see the House do these things so we know if it's even worth going to vote next time, right? Constitutional carry, so-called, meaning removing the requirement to have to get a CPL to be able to conceal a firearm, things like this. Oh, there's a few truck drivers here tonight. Shout out to the truck drivers, man. Truck drivers that read English, right? You guys agree, I hope? I love truck drivers only if they can read and speak English. Is that too far? I mean, I'm not politically correct. What can I say? I'm not going to be politically correct. Look, the left is so divisive now. Can't we all get along? No, we can't actually anymore. No, we can't. I don't want to argue with fools. I'm not going to try to compromise with something that will never truly compromise with me. And there's certain things that I won't compromise no matter what. I don't believe, generally speaking, there's a such thing as a good faith argument with the leftists anymore. With the communists. Now, look, we can have many things we argue about, of course, but the person has to at least have a little bit of scruples behind them and have some like human-like qualities before you can actually ever engage in anything productive. And there's just so many out there that, to me, don't have enough human-like qualities to even engage with. So I know that sounds terrible. Some of my own viewers get really mad at me right now when I say this kind of stuff, but it's like, you know what? I'm not pushing hate. I don't want people to hate other people, but I will encourage you to hate evil. The Bible talks about there's a time to love and a time to hate. We can and we should hate evil things. But no, dude, I ain't just gonna get along with people and just be a wuss and just let them trample all over me. I don't want to get along with certain types of people anymore. Does that make sense? And look, guys, we can still be friends, but some of my viewers get really mad at me when I say stuff like that. But it's like, no, dude, I don't want to be friends with these people. I want to just live in a decent country again and live in a decent state again. No, Robin Sage. Thanks. I want to clarify. I know exactly what Representative Thompson meant. I'm not sure we were on the same page as the rep. You asked about the repeal of the NARC line, and she said it wasn't in there. Repeal not in there, or funding not in there. Okay, the funding's not in there. So this is how we win with the budget. Thank you for clarifying. They don't write the words of the budget. We hereby repeal. Just so everybody knows this. Thank you. It's not going to say that. Just by the funding for the NARC line, the tip hotline, just by it not being in there, that means it was repealed. So thank you for clarifying. I should have clarified all that to you earlier. Yes. When she says it's not in there, that's good. We don't want it to be in there because only things that are funded are in there. Does that make sense? So under the last budget that was passed, there was $1 million for it in there. Now that the $1 million and the funding for it is not in there, yes. So yes, Thank you, because it is important how that stuff's worded, and that is exactly the way the process works. Never quit voting, even if it takes decades to get back some control. If we don't vote, it's instantly over. Look, the founding fathers set this up for us to vote. As tough as it is, look, guys, you always have a vote. Here's the thing. So many people get to the final election and they're like, dude, it's the lesser of two evils. I can't vote for either of these clowns. There's your primary elections. In many cases, not all. I get it. Some people, you live in districts that are so Democrat, you're never going to find nothing you want to vote for. I understand. But look at somebody who's decent. They may be running as a Republican. They may be running as an independent. I don't know, But look to your primaries so you don't get stuck in this situation where there's two terrible choices at the end. Maybe run yourself. Local. Find a good friend that you can truly trust. Get behind them. Help them knock doors. You can really help a local candidate just for some of your time if you have it, Ferocious Kitsu says, I got distracted and missed everything. Well, we had our friend Representative Jamie Thompson kind of let us know that in about 20 minutes or so, which is coming up here in just a couple minutes, they're going to attempt to try something in the House. You guys heard it here first. Yeah, I mean, a national divorce, guys? Yes. I don't know how to do it. You all know me well enough by now. I'm not a grand philosopher. I'm not a politician. Sometimes it's a lot easier to say what you want rather than how to act. I don't know how you do a national divorce, but I do like that idea. Nobody's really giving me tons of heck tonight for that. And that's not ever my intention. I just want to be honest with you all. There's just certain people I don't want to get along with anymore or talk to them anymore at all. I'm done. That's it. I'm not out trying to hurt anybody. I'll opine just for 1 second. If you want to know my core fundamental principles, I believe vengeance is the Lord's. I believe there's only one good judge. So I don't always live up to what I know I should be doing. I mess up a lot with that, but I try. I try not to enact vengeance. I try not to judge people's souls. But I think I can judge their wrongdoings and say, this ain't right. I ain't going to compromise with something that's wrong. It's evil. And quite frankly, I don't even want to talk to evil people about anything anymore. Really. Put up or shut up, Probably a terrible attitude. Constitution says the state's shut down right now. Whitmer says it ain't going to shut down, and she's just going to do whatever she wants, I guess. Federal government shut down right now. State of Michigan's shut down right now. Anyone looking forward to opening day today? I think that's why a lot of people had to go to bed at a certain point, because they're getting ready to get up in a couple hours here to go hunt Bambi with their bow. Right? Oh, Cameron Bradley says Michigan seems to have gone more left than down the middle nowadays. It's unfortunate. I know, dude. There used to be just a kind of a lot more, a little bit of down the middle people that you could kind of talk to about this and that. And you can still talk to them. Now it's getting to the point where when it comes to some of these extreme leftists, these communists, I hate to say it, but just the whole Democrat Party, really, because, look, I'm talking like these Democrats that are in the Michigan legislature, they vote for every radical bill there is. Without fail, none of them ever jump ranks. So it's just to the point where it's like, no, dude, I'm just going to declare there's males and females. You want to try to convince me there's a sex called X? I ain't got nothing to say to you productive. Yeah, that's the nuttiest thing I've ever heard. If they want to debate it with me, you can just kiss off. There's nothing to debate about this. You guys know what I'm getting at. I ain't going to debate that kind of crap. There's nothing to it. There's nothing to talk about when it comes to stuff like this. Just, no, you're wrong. That's it. I was on mute. We're going to hang out a few more minutes, guys. You can't tell just by the looks of me. I've been, I think, literally 4 boxes clean. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a dog, whether it wags its tail or whether its tail wags itself. Or are there any cat people out there? Okay, shout out to all the cat people. You know, you watch your cat, it's just sitting there like this. This would be for like 3 days straight. That's why, like, my whole face and nose and everything's so red. I'm just sitting there, tissue. I look like a cat. I'm not even joking. Oh, man. I was on mute for a second. I know. I mean, here we go. Here's the cat person, a ferocious Kitsu. Terrible attitude, but it's what they left us with because they can't follow the rules, but we have to. I know. Look, I'm not telling anyone they have to be conservative to talk to me. They don't have to be a Republican to talk to me. I'm not a Republican at all. But just like I don't talk to crazies anymore, I guess. Like just super evil and crazy? No. Right, Aztec Grifter? You know what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. Michigan's like other states controlled by the deep blue cities. The rest of the states pretty much right. I know. What's up, Rudy Fanny? How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Well, hopefully we can see what they're going to try to pull in a minute, and we can all get to bed shortly here. And good luck. Hopefully you can find yourself something nice out there in the woods. I was going to say tomorrow, but technically today. Yeah, I know I was muted for just a split second. I'm not muted anymore, right? I don't know. There you go. It says me. My cat is in my lap right now sleeping. All right. So you've seen the routine before. The cat. Anonymous. Yeah, I did hear about that. Former NRA supporter Tim Waltz. Trying to modify the Constitution or move the two-way. Yep, absolutely. I have heard that, unfortunately. Casey, what's happening, Casey? And there's a lot of un-American stuff going on right now in the U.S. Let's check back in on the House floor for just a split second. All right. I wish I would remember and just make it big screen. Like, I always have to go back every time. I spent a lot of money for this StreamYard software, too. Good luck, hunters. Wear your orange. I don't know if they have to wear orange for bow season, do they? I know you wear orange for gun hunting for sure. I don't even hunt. Can you guys believe that? You'd think I'm like a big hunter. I actually don't hunt. Many of my friends and family do. Make sure you guys go check out my locals community. Links down in the description. It's free to join. I'm going to be streaming over there tomorrow night, or technically tonight. Probably around 9 p.m. Maybe it'll be 9:30. We'll see. We do a totally different type of stream over there. Like, totally different. Like, streams that we literally cannot do on YouTube because the rules would completely prohibit it. Okay, yeah. For Bo, it's camo. Not for Bo. Okay. And Robin says you don't have to, but I don't trust other people on state land at least. Okay. Yeah. Gun, though, the orange is mandatory, correct? I mean, look, guys, I've hunted a couple times before. Never shot a deer, however. But I bought a doe permit, a combination, and I know they've changed it up over the years what it technically was, but I've bought deer license a couple times. I've had small game in the past. I live on a body of water, and I don't have a fishing license, for example. Don't even have a fishing license. Okay, Robert Chase, 50%. Yeah. A lot of times, it'll be like the jacket and the hat, you'll see. Sometimes you'll see the pants and the hat. I think that maybe counts. Sometimes guys go all the way. The top, the bottom, the hat, everything. The gloves. I believe deer are colorblind. Is that true? Or is that just a myth? I've always been taught, like, as a kid, they're like, dude, just wear the orange. It's for the other hunters. The deer's colorblind. It can't see that it's orange. I don't know if that's true, though, or not, though, really. See, the deer might be colorblind. So I would at least, isn't like orange camo a little better? Because I know the deer has to be able to pick up lines, right? Like none of us are deer, are they? So I guess nobody. Hey, all the deer that are watching right now. If there's any deer watching, thanks for watching. We appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe. So if there's any deer that can come in and actually answer this, or maybe some of my viewers have a provable way to know. I just always heard like this whole thing that deer are colorblind. I don't know if they've actually proven that yet or not. Dude, there's a deer coming right up to our house now. And we have a little pond right by the house. It's an elevated pond. That's why I don't think it's a squirrel. And we've had lily pads in there forever. And they've grown really nice in there where they're covering like this whole half of the pond, right? And it has to be a deer. It's just this small little pond, right? With some koi and a turtle and some goldfish, some rosy red minnows that are just like these feeder minnows, but they're cool because they move around in schools. Beautiful lily pads that can cover half. It gives the turtle a place to hide under, shade for the fish. It's so cool, right? My wife and daughter love them. They flower certain times of year. You get the point. I love beautiful lily pads and plants. It's got to be a deer. It's going in there and just eating the tops right off of them, eating them down the stalks. And it's trying to grow back up again. As soon as the leaves break the top, barely any lily pad left. I think it is a deer. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I need to go grab another drink here. We're going to see what happens out of the house floor momentarily. Hold on a minute. I was just stepping away and the feed died. Hold on a minute. I was just getting ready to... Hold on. Let me try to get back into this. Is there a new house feed? Hold on a second. There's a spider behind me. I don't know about that. What do you mean, like behind me? I have seen Ted Nugent address the House a couple times, actually. Movement, sound, and scent. Okay. I identify as a deer. Do I have to buy a license? In Michigan, you probably should be able to. You're allowed to identify as anything else. Jacket and hat, yeah. Okay, so the deer are colorblind, it sounds like. Probably proven wrong by now, though. Yeah, I always heard that too. You know? Dude, those deer's eating those lily pads. It's terrible, man. It's like, I like deer and all, but stay off my pond. Get away from those lily pads. All right, let me frantically search here and see what the heck's going on with this House session. Jeez, oh, Pete. All right, looks like they're starting up. One minute here. Hit the refresh. All right, let's check back in. I picked up the new House session. Yeah, they usually do cut the feed in the middle of the night once or twice. Some of you guys have seen this before. This ain't the first time. If they were colorblind, how would they know what to eat? You might be right, Loose Man. I don't know the answer to that. James Robinson. Rod O'Malley said hello. Well, what's happening, Rod? I said hi to him earlier tonight. I hope that he heard me say that. I've been talking to my good friend Ron off and on all day today about all this stuff. What's this House up to right now? Changing the reel on the projector, Dale just said. Jeez, oh, Pete's, man. All right, what's this here? Attendance roll call. Yeah, I'm going to need to tap out in a few minutes, guys. I just want to see if they're up to something that's... Yeah. Changing the reel. Yeah, what if this is all just pre-recorded? Wouldn't that be crazy? Like, all of this is just a recording that's pre-recorded, and it happened like in a whole nother time, and now they're just showing it like it's live. What if it is a replay? What if I'm not even live right now? Like, I don't even exist. You think I do, but I'm basically broadcasting like a reel-to-reel projector, like the old school style, like, you know what I mean? And then, like, I'm actually just a hologram. I'm going to get in big trouble by my handlers. I just admitted I'm a hologram. Yeah, dude. Like, I wouldn't be shocked at anything anymore. You guys can see, though, supposedly we're watching a live feed from the House. It does say 1:17 a.m. on the top there, right? I mean, SG 6970. Look at them in the chamber scheming. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's set for us to wait for us to go to bed and not see what 2A surprises they have left for us. Okay. A recipe for brownies. Dude, I don't even have that, though. I'm not much of a Susie homemaker, guys. If my lovely wife wasn't in bed right now, I'd actually ask her. You know what I mean? I mean, a long time ago, I'm like, dang, this girl can cook. I think I might marry her, you know? I don't really have any good recipes. I guess all I would do is just go up to the super Walmart and buy, like, I don't know, like Duncan Hines or Betty Crocker or something. And I don't have any good recipes. I'm sorry. I think I've got some. I think I've got some old Taco Bell from last night in the fridge still over there. Okay. Okay. My friend Ron just said to me a little inside info. The house is still waiting on the Senate. All right. Okay. What's the Senate doing? If they're in session right now or what, I should text my Senator Joe Bolito and say, "What you doing over there in that Senate right now?" Dude, why do they do things in the middle of the night? Well, I mean, why do a lot of people do things in the middle of the night? I can be an okay cook with certain things. I think I'm a decent cook. Not as much of a fan of baking, but I can. Closest thing I have to brownies right now is this MRE applesauce pound cake. Yeah, dude, that's not very close to brownies at all, though. Like, I get it, dude. Make good with what you got, but you're kind of coming up pretty short on that. I mean, go for it, dude. Look at the pound cake. If you're feeling it, do it. But you are, yeah, man, close but no cigar. I mean, if you want me to be honest, I had that MRE pound cake years ago. It might be. I don't remember it being that good though. You guys might not know it. I mean, with how overweight I am and everything, obviously, but I'm not really into sweet goods much. So there's your shocker for the night. I really don't do sweets much at all, actually. Okay, so the pound cake is pretty good, Dale saying. And Ferocious says just a bit. They're only 3 years from manufacture date, so it's not too bad. Okay. All right. They're waiting for that gavel lady from the last all-nighter. Lori Pohutsky. Oh, my gosh. Lori Pohutsky. Do you guys miss her? Now we have Rochelle Smith, the current gavel lady. I know Rochelle. I've had Rochelle in a video before. Yeah, man. Lori Pohutsky was her name. A lot of you guys were bummed out when she lost the gavel. All right, we're just going to wait a few more minutes. Quick question for the chat. What do you guys think would be better in the best interest of the state of Michigan? I know a lot of you don't live in Michigan, but, you know, just for the state of Michigan or your home state, whatever. Do you think it'd be better if we have a man governor, or do you want another woman governor? Just curious to see where people are at on that. KC's going to be buying some MREs. Thanks for the recommendation. All right. Okay. Ooh, Dale sent her a thank you card for having a hysterectomy. I remember that she sterilized herself is how she worded it. Look, I mean, look, I know, guys, I get it. Like, you'd rather have a woman governor if it was Tudor Dixon over if the man was Tim Walz, okay? So clearly this person has to, you know what I'm getting at? I get it. It was a poor way for me to ask the question. Assuming this candidate appears to have as close to your ideals as you would like. Okay, so that's the premise. Would you rather it be a man or a woman for governor? Is what I'm asking. So yeah, not like, you know, Tim Walz instead of Tudor Dixon. If that was my only choice, I met Tudor Dixon before, face to face. Nice lady. There's a picture of me and her hanging out on my YouTube community tab a year or two ago. It's got nothing to do with that. I know many nice women. I'm friends with many of them. Love my wife, my daughter, my mom, something like that. I'm just literally asking if they met your ideals and your principles and just whatever that means for you. Would you rather it be a man or a woman as governor? That's all I'm asking. Laurie says, good job hanging out. You know, the moment we go to bed, the gavel will go. They're waiting on the Senate right now. Okay, a little mix of both. I was just kind of wondering. Some of you guys are saying, you know, a man. Some are saying if it's a woman, but it's a good woman. I'm just curious. Yeah, I mean, Ryan Kelly. I've had dinner with Ryan Kelly before, too. With my friend Ryan Kelly and Jane Locke, Catherine Henry. Lori might know a few of these people. Do you know a few of these people, Lori? Catherine Henry, Jane Locke, Ryan Kelly. Constitutional attorney Catherine Henry. Shout out to the Catherine Henry channel, by the way, on YouTube. She does live streams on the regular. If you want to keep up with some stuff from kind of a, you know, constitutional attorney that doesn't like most attorneys, you might like the Catherine Henry channel. She's been a guest on this stream several times in the past. I've been a guest on her channel as well. That's probably too much to ask, SG6970. I want someone, preferably a man, that will follow the Constitution. Yeah, following the Constitution, that may be a tall order. That's a tall order. Is Ryan running again or not? Ryan Kelly? Too soon to know? When you think of Whitmer, you think of Granholm. Oh, man, Granholm. Woo. Wow. Wow. Right now, I like the Senate Minority Leader. Eric Nesbitt. He's more of a farm boy. I mean, he's been in politics a long time, though, too. I don't know. Granholm. Ugh. Is she in the U.S. Supreme Court? Are you talking about her case, Lori? I know last time I checked, she was having a petition to the Supreme Court. Are you talking about Matt Cox or Mike Cox? Cruz? Oh man, there's not. Over Ormond Beach case. Was her case filed and accepted within the Supreme Court? I'm not asking if they're going to hear it necessarily. I know that's a totally other process. All right. Well, I hope her Ormond Beach case can keep moving up where she can finally get some justice. Yeah, Whitmer and all Granholm. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yes, Granholm was a Canadian. That's weird too. How can a Canadian be like a governor in Michigan? Isn't that weird? The Senate's in session, Rick. Thank you for letting us know that. We'll try to hang out just a few more minutes. I don't charge by the hour here, so we'll hang out just a few more minutes, but at the same time, I'm going to kind of need to eat again too before I go to bed. I have like this cauliflower crust pizza over there that's to die for. I think I'm going to make that in the toaster oven because it's too late to eat any kind of like proper meal. And for those of you that think I'm at home right now, I'm not at home right now. I am at my shop. Does anybody like cauliflower crust pizza? I know that sounds totally weird and GHEY and like I'm a vegan or something. No, I'm not a vegan at all. Like I like red meat, I like bacon, you know. But man, like cauliflower crust pizza is actually good in my opinion. I've got one over there. It's cauliflower crust pizza with uncured pepperoni and mushrooms. Then I have a whole bag of mozzarella and Italian blend cheese, and I like to add a little bit of extra to each and throw it in the toaster oven. Oh, geez, the Senate session? Hold on a minute. Oh, see, you guys don't like it. I know. Dale's like, no, it's a cauliflower based like flour. I know it sounds totally like, I get it. You guys can literally like give me all kinds of heck. I just literally built a deck with my bare hands and helped thousands of pounds of lumber. I'm still a manly man. Don't completely bail on me yet, guys. I don't know, man. I just like that particular cauliflower. Look, by standards of frozen pizza, all right? All right, let me see what's going on in the Michigan Senate right now. I'm not saying I don't like a regular pizza from a real pizzeria more. Of course I do. I'm literally talking about like of the frozen pizza that I can get at the old super Walmart. There's this cauliflower crust one that I like. I knew I'd wake you guys up. You're like, what the heck's wrong with this dude? Dude, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I lost a sub like immediately. When I said I'm actually looking forward to this cauliflower crust pizza that's over there. Man, can you believe that? Someone just gave me a thumbs down and unsubscribed when I said that. Oh, man. I mean, Lori Pohutsky look-alike. Let me try to pull this up and like keep a straight face. Give me a minute. I'll be back for 1 second, guys. I'm attempting to pull up the Michigan Senate website, their live TV stream, but it's like freezing right now on me. So give me a second. Maybe the government shutdown, they already lost budget for the Senate broadcast.
Secretary will announce the vote.
Mr. President, on the final passage of House Bill 4161, there are 31 aye votes, 2 no votes, 2 not voting, and 2 excused.
Majority of the members elected and serving having voted, therefore, the bill is passed. The President recognizes Majority Floor Leader Singh.
Mr. President, I move that House Bill 4161 be granted immediate effect.
Floor Leader Singh moves to grant House Bill 4161 immediate effect. All those in favor of granting House Bill 4161 immediate effect will vote aye. All those opposed will vote no. The Secretary will open the board.
What do you guys think Senator Singh's origin is? Majority Leader Singh, show me your papers.
Secretary will close the board and announce the vote.
Mr. President, on granting the bill immediate effect, there are 26 aye votes.
Sufficient number of senators having voted, therefore, House Bill 4161 is granted immediate effect.
Mr. President, pursuant to Joint Rule 20, the Senate has amended the title.
Without objection, the title amendment will be agreed to.
Dude, they're cramming this through right.
President recognizes Majority Floor Leader Singh.
Mr. President, I move the Senate stand at recess until 10 a.m.
Without objection, the Senate will stand at recess until 10 a.m. The Senate is in recess.
That guy's a little light in the loafers with the gavel. All right, the Senate has just crammed some stuff through and recess till 10 a.m. So now we are going to go back to the House, which should be coming back into order within moments. Sorry I couldn't get in there a little bit earlier for you all to see Kleinfeld, because Rick is right, that would have been entertaining. This is what we call a real beauty in a different kind of way. Senator Kleinfeld. All that drama for nothing. Well, we'll see what happens here in a second. I'll be back with y'all in 2 minutes. I'm just kind of going on and off the mute button and trying my best to finish off this box of Kleenex in the last 30 seconds so we can hang out for a few more minutes. Okay, this is appropriating $1.5 billion for 8 days. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Rick. I've noticed you helping me out with a lot of info on other streams we've done too. Clearly, you're plugged in more than most people, and dude, I can use all the assists that I have right now when I'm doing this. Just kind of look. This is by the seat of your pants. This stuff's happening in real time. What type of unknown garbage? I know. They better not be adding that anti-2A stuff through MDHHS or that tip hotline. That better not be getting added back in there. I mean, yeah. Good night, Robin Sage. The governor's like, oh, even if it shuts down, we're still not going to shut anything down. No, it's technically shut down right now. I don't care what anybody says. But they're going to do some type of continuing resolution. I think I'm going to end up being right in the end, guys. Look, this budget bill is a couple thousand plus pages. According to Representative Steve Cara, I have no reason to doubt him. Let's see what they're going to do. I think this qualifies as a fast one. Rick says there's no legislation, and this bill 4161 only appropriates money until 10/8. I think it'd be fair to call that synonymous with like a continuing resolution or a CR, I think. Wrote themselves a blank check. Dude, that's a lot of money for 8 days. So. Man, those ghosts are going to be eating high on the hog. Those ghosts are sitting down for caviar. Not that I would eat caviar. I think that's disgusting. Dude, if I was a billionaire, I would not be eating caviar. Just saying. Now, granted, whereas I just said I would never eat caviar, even if I had the money of Trump, I'm not going to admit to what type of flour crust I like on my frozen pizza when I'm forced to eat something like this in the middle of the night. Don't want to lose all the subscribers on the channel. I just went and looked at my YouTube community dashboard just a second ago. It's true. I said I like a particular type of crust on this frozen pizza. Now, look, it's not my favorite food, okay? I'm just trying to be humble and deal with what I can. My wife's asleep. You know what I mean? It's just like, somebody got mad at me for saying that. I mean, 1.8 billion that's a lot of money, man. For a couple days. Those ghost employees are going out to dinner tonight, boys. Yeah. You're welcome. All right, here we
The
go.
House will come to order. Speaker recognizes Minority Floor Leader Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to excuse all absent members.
So ordered.
Okay, 3 Democrats are
Clerk will close the board, tally display, and announce today's attendance.
Madam Speaker, a quorum of the House is present. There are no members absent with prior excuse.
Okay.
Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise and join me now in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House proceed to the order of messages from the Senate to read in the message regarding House Bill 4161.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
To the Speaker of the House of Representatives, dear sir, I herewith return House Bill 4161. The Senate has passed the bill with substitute S1, order to be given immediate effect, and amended the title.
Under the rules, the bill will lie over one day. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
I move that the House suspend Rule 41 so the bill can be taken up at this time.
See, they just got rid of the
The Majority Floor Leader moves that Rule 41 be suspended. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The rule is suspended.
There you go.
The question before the House is on concurring in the Senate substitute amendments. Are there amendments? There being no amendments, the question before the House is on concurring in the Senate substitute. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The board is now open. Members, you may vote at your desk.
Okay, you know what just happened, right? The House had a House bill, sent it over to the Senate. The Senate passed it with immediate effect with their substitute. Now they have to bring it back over to the House, okay? But there's a rule that it has to lay over for a day, but the floor leader Posthumous just made a motion to suspend the rules. So by literal definition, they're operating outside of the rules of the House right now, okay? And they're voting to pass this. Now, some of you may think this is a really good thing they're doing this. It may be a bad thing. I don't even know what it is yet because there's a substitute. But look, provides for omnibus appropriations for multiple departments and branches for fiscal year 2025-2026. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I'm guessing most people haven't had a chance to read it yet, but this might be what some people are calling necessary to get it to the point where there'll be a better budget. That's probably the other side of the coin here. I don't know, guys. So right now they're on the second reading. So we're 2 steps away from this passing. Would be probably, I guess they're going to have to probably suspend another rule again. Waive committees for it. I think that's how this is going to have to work. Or maybe they already did. Look, the first reading is usually just done by the clerks. Then there's a second reading. Then there has to be a third and final reading before they can vote on the passage. Right now, by sheer definition, and you guys can take that as an awesome thing or a sinister thing, depends where you sit on all this, but they are by definition operating outside of the rules. And we just saw how quick that happens too. So, okay. Steve Carr is voting no. DeSantis voting no. Jamie Green, who's also been on this channel before, some of you may remember her, is voting no. Let's see here. Coons is voting no. 3 of the white ones that haven't voted yet are not there right now, so there's really only a couple left. Let's see. Alicia St. Germain, Republican, has not voted yet. Donnie Steele, Republican, has not voted yet. I think Aragona is present, hasn't voted yet. Herzberg was absent. And then these Van Workum, I think, is present right now. Was it Weiss and Wenzel? Is Pauline Wenzel there? I don't know. 3 of them that haven't voted are absent. But it doesn't matter. It has the votes to pass on second reading right now.
The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
Okay.
Speaker, on the question concurring in the Senate substitute to House Bill 4161, there are 103 aye votes and 4 nay votes.
Almost
A
unanimous.
majority of the members elected and serving having voted in favor, therefore, the Senate substitute is concurred in.
Concurred in. Yeah,
The
that's
House will
right,
agree to the title of the bill. The bill is referred to the clerk for enrollment, printing, and presentation to the governor. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Posthumous.
Wait, how'd they skip third
Thank you, Madam
reading?
Speaker. I move to give committees leave to meet.
How
The
did they
objection
skip
so
third
ordered.
reading of the bill? They can skip third reading of the bill?
The House will stand at ease at the call of the chair.
Okay, guys, I don't even know if lawyers would know the answer to this. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legislator. They can skip
The
third
House will
reading
go
of
at
the
ease
bill?
until 12 p.m. to 12 p.m.
Did the Rule 41 bypass the third reading? I didn't think so. I thought that it just bypassed the rule that it lays over for a day. I try to keep up on this stuff as much as anybody, guys. I don't know what just happened there. I don't know if they said the rules concurred in, or I'm sorry, the Senate bill has been concurred. I've been watching this stuff a lot with a lot of you. We've seen these go through the gun control in the middle of the night. It's usually the third reading, third and final passage is how it's always. Yeah. I thought there has to be a third reading before there can be a final passage. Let me try to look up something real quick before I jump off here. I feel kind of embarrassed that I can't give you guys a straight answer on what just happened, but I've been watching this a long time, and I thought that you have to have a. Let's see. Just trying to look up something real quick here. Okay, right here. This is just a quick AI overview. I asked it, do Michigan House bills require 3 readings for passage? Yes. Michigan House bills require 3 readings for passage, a requirement rooted in the state's constitution. Although the readings are often conducted by title only, and the process can be modified or suspended by a supermajority vote of House members. First reading. This is the initial introduction of the bill and is done by its title. Second reading. After being reported out of committee, the bill receives its second reading, still by title, during which amendments can be considered and debated. We just saw that vote a second ago. Third reading. The bill is brought up for final debate and consideration before a vote for passage and can no longer be amended. Constitutional basis. Article 4, Section 26 of the Michigan Constitution of 1963 mandates that each bill must be read 3 times in each house before final passage. Now, I know they suspended the rules where the second reading where it didn't have to lay over for a day. We did see that. But the Constitution literally says it must be read 3 times before final passage. I don't know if this is like, I don't know what just happened. We saw them change the rules right in front of us. We've seen this happen many times before. That did not surprise me. This is what government looks like nowadays. I don't know what to tell you. I'm admitting to you, I'm not an expert. I do think it's fair, though, that I know more about how this works than most average people do. Poor man's gold. Yeah, nothing happens. Nothing good happens after 10 p.m. Rick, you're confused too. Look, they could have rushed the third reading through in 3 minutes too by suspending rules and he's till 12 p.m. Let me look up one more thing here. Okay, right here. Again, this is just AI for whatever it's worth. I just asked it, is there a way to bypass the third reading and pass a bill concurring from the Senate? Answer. There is no procedure in the Michigan legislature to bypass the third reading and pass a bill that has been amended and concurred with by the other chamber. So that's the scenario that just happened, right? In Michigan, the state constitution requires every bill to have 3 readings in each house before final passage. And this process is still followed when a bill is returned from the other chamber. How a bill with Senate amendments is handled in the House. When the Senate passes a House bill with amendments, it is returned to the House for reconsideration. The process in the House then follows these steps. The Senate's amendments are read into the House, which they did say that. The Senate amended S1 or whatever it was, substitute 1, substitute 2, doesn't matter. The House then votes to concur, which is agree, or not concur, disagree with the Senate's changes. If the House concurs, the bill is ordered to its third reading and final passage vote. If the House does not concur, the bill may be sent to a conference committee to work out the differences. Third reading requirements. The constitutional requirement for 3 readings still stands, but how they are conducted differs. Reading by the title. The first and second readings are often done by the title only. Waiving the full reading. For the third reading, the bill can be considered read by unanimous consent in the Senate or with 4/5 of a vote in the House. Okay? So I understand all that. How they read it by its title or whether they read the full bill. And then final vote after the third reading. Whether done in full or waived, the House takes a vote. The House takes a roll call vote on final passage. So that's interesting. Something happened there that I don't understand. And Representative Jamie Thompson just sent me one more message and said, that was the shutdown bill we passed in March. So no government shutdown. Okay. I'm going to say thank you for the information, and I'm going to ask her real quick, how did it pass without a third reading? Maybe she knows. Now, I'm being very frank with you. I don't know exactly what was worded and what they just voted on. Whether it's good for us if that passed or not. Don't know. I just don't know how it passed without a third reading, is all I'm literally saying. Okay. They will read it the next time when we're not watching. I know. I just kind of read everything that, jeez. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where, does anybody know exactly what was in the bill? I mean, this is a two-way channel primarily. But I also like to let you guys know about the legislative process, just so we can kind of understand what's going on, because we should not be left in the dark on what's going on with our government. So we do get into some of this type of stuff, you know, like how the process works. I have alarms going off over here that I don't even know what they are, so hopefully they're not ready to kick my door in a minute. Maybe that's feds outside, but there's some kind of beeping going on here, and I don't even know of anything over there that beeps. I mean, so that's the official breaking news. You guys heard it here first. The government is no longer shut down right now. It's being funded for X amount of days with X amount of money. Bill was read by its title 2 times. I read the very thorough explanation to you on the Michigan Constitution says, and they have to, no matter what, read a bill 3 times before final passage. I didn't see that. And, you know. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to jump off. Hopefully we had a good time hanging out together. I hope it wasn't too boring. I'm not sure we got a final conclusion. But I do have on good authority here. Like I said, breaking news at 2 a.m. This is crazy, dude. Like this little YouTube channel with all you good people hanging out. We're breaking it right now. It'll be minutes or hours from now until like all these big news media are even going to report this. And we actually knew that they were going to be doing something. They had a trick up their sleeve. We knew it a half hour before they even did it. So we had like essentially, like in essence, a inside source that popped up and let us know. So I don't like to leave stuff on a cliffhanger. I can't completely understand what just happened. However, as of right now, the government is not shut down in Michigan. I believe the federal government still most definitely is. I'll be back soon with a shorter video telling you about a disturbing letter that's being sent home to the parents of school children. And I look forward, and hopefully I'll see a bunch of you guys over on my local stream tomorrow night to hang out. Links are down there in the description. I may stream it on Rumble as well, so just make sure you're following me on both places. We'll hang out and talk some guns. So good night, Robert Chase. Good night, Paul Bennett. Good night, Rick. Thank you for trying to keep us updated. And you seem like you're extremely knowledgeable. And I think I saw out of the corner of my eye, you're just as confused as I am. Lori, also a very knowledgeable person on this process. She's just as confused as I am. But, you know, it's... We've seen some strange stuff happen in the middle of the night together, haven't we? And thank you for the best wishes. Rick Dosbush and, you know, Robin Sage and Paul Bennett, thank you for the good wishes. And Ferocious Kitsu, take it easy, man. Thank you, Dale Morales. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys here on YouTube Friday, and hopefully we'll see some of you all tomorrow on the anti-censorship sites. I'll try to get that live stream posted ahead of time so you all have a little bit of notice. All right. I will see you all again soon. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Thank you for the kind wishes, guys. I'll be getting better soon. I hope you all are feeling good as well.